Hello, everybody. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a little second to get in here. How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a great Friday. I told y'all I'm not. I told y'all I am going. Oh, my eye twitching. Who talked about me? I told y'all though. Y'all stay here with me. I'm gonna stay here with y'all. Okay? We gonna get through this together. All right? Give y'all a little second to get in here. Hello. My voice is somewhat like 90% back. I still like kind of have to have like a little spit, like mucus and stuff out a lot. I still have a little bit of a cough, but we're doing better. God is great. Um, I know y'all be telling me not to tell too much tea about like what I got going on behind the scenes and stuff, but just know your girl is working. These are another one of my shades. Hold on, right? I ain't gonna show y'all too much but just tell me, let me know if you rocking with it. Cause I really feel like I need some of y'all help as far as where I want my logo on the glasses and how I want my logo. So like just a quick little example. Like I said, these are just for the girls who are new and who are in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? If you missed it, you have to catch the replay. But like I can do like a logo right here, or just keep it simple where it's just on the side. Um, and then like of course I'm gonna have like different styles and versions and stuff, but just let me know what y'all think. Let me know. Try to make sure. Dang, I meant to put on my I'm on my iPad right now. I meant to put it on my thing to make sure like do not disturb. I hate when people be calling me, y'all, when I get on live. Oh yeah, y'all, it's quiet in the house. Papa is with Mama Marsha right now. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Um, and then he was with my sister a little bit earlier in the week, just so that mommy could take some real time to really get myself together. It's nothing like trying to better yourself and your little one is just not understanding because they feel a lot better. Um, For what I know, Slim is good. Child, I ain't heard from the man in like 2, 3 days. But the last time I spoke to him, he had a little cough and he was starting to feel a little under the weather. Because I told him we got back from Florida, like, baby, how you leave us for that? How you drop us off and we over here fighting for our lives and you are fine. So I think he is down with a sinus infection right now. But for the most part, for what I know, he's doing good. But yeah, I was gonna cook for y'all, but I really still don't have an appetite. Um, and I just went ahead and just threw some turkey legs in the crock pot. So that's gonna take a little minute before I can even eat them anyway. So hopefully by the time they're ready, you know. Okay, we liking on the side. Okay, cause look, listen. I have these. So right now, I'm really just doing a lot of the stuff myself, right? Because like I said, when I work with different people and different companies and just trying to get samples and stuff, like it got to the point I had to start talking to the Asian people. But although I would love to do more local and if I could find black owned businesses, but that's just it's gonna be a part of my journey. Um, but yeah, so like this is another pair. Like I'm just trying out some styles. I have a whole different set of samples that I'm getting and styles that I'm getting. But I just wanted to kind of just test out what some stuff looked like. But like having like the logo on the top right here. I was thinking about maybe trying it on the side. I like the shorter logo better, like this. But, trying to give the girlies something, you know. And then like I said, like I'm just kind of testing out some stuff. Like I didn't know how I felt about it being on the side like that, or if I want to just strictly do the short logo. And then like I'm playing around with colors and stuff, all kinds of good stuff, all type of good stuff. And when it comes down to when it's time to take the pictures and stuff, y'all know I'm gonna figure out a fit and stuff. I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna make it make sense so y'all can see the vision. Because I feel like when I was sending it off to a few people here and there just to kind of get like some general opinions and just kind of see what is giving. Um, some people were just like, well, that's not really my style, or I don't know about these. I'd have to see them in person and stuff. And it's just like, just trust the process. Just trust the process. We gonna get into it. But hopefully I can get my real samples and stuff in relatively soon. And I'm hoping that I can at least gift like 5 people, a couple shades and just, say thank you for being patient. And, just in case if it doesn't go as planned or it takes a little while, you have some like legit limited edition, real like the leeway shades, like can't nobody say they got them. But yeah, I'm trying to get it going before summertime. This is something I've been working on for a while now. It's just hard because I want to make sure quality is there. I want to make sure it's what I want. I tend to get very overwhelmed with a lot of stuff and trying to make everybody happy. So my first drop is definitely gonna be more my style, and then just start broadening the horizon and just kind of going more like neutral and more regular everyday wear, like but your girl is spicy and I do have a little 1-2 about me, but at the same time we love a good black shade, a nice clean shade, a good like something everyday type of wear, but also something you could pop out in. So trying to get it together, y'all, trying to get it together. But like I said, a little sneak peek for the girlies who was in the chat early. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna give it like a couple more minutes before I start my story time. What's new with y'all? Like, as far as me, I got tried, like for real, tried for the first time, in my opinion, from August, not too long ago, right? So a little story time before the story time, right? Okay. So, boom. Mommy don't feel good. I just want to take a nap. Like my head is banging. I'm having a bad sinus infection while fighting bronchitis, but I have to focus on one thing at a time, right? So, um, it was just like one of those days where it's just like he has so much energy, so much energy. And I just keep telling him, like, look, listen, baby, mommy doesn't feel good. I just want to take a nap. Just try not to be too loud. Just play. If you make a mess, excuse me, just keep it cute. Keep it cute. Y'all, the man come running in my room and he gonna say, I don't like my room, mommy. I want to destroy it. So now I'm looking at the fool like, what are you talking about? Like, what? What? Destroy what? Why? What are you talking about? I want to destroy it. I don't like my room. I'm like, well, what don't you like about your room? Like, we talked about this. Like, please let like I ask you all the time, like, do you like your room? You want to change anything? Like, cause after a while I get it. You see the same thing, it starts getting boring. So he started talking about a Batman car, right? Okay. So I'm like, well, bring me the daggone toy. And I'm like, okay, the toy's gone. Like, cool. Y'all, his mouth been a little sassy lately. So lately it's been like when I say something to him, he'll be like, well, well, well. And in my opinion, I be telling him like, watch yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it never gave me, I'm your little friend. Like I love you to death. I do. And I'm glad, we have the bond that we have. But it never gave I'm your one of your little friends, right? So I'm telling him, like, listen, watch your tone, watch how you talk to me, all that going back and forth and trying to argue with me. Well. Like, sometimes you need to just say, yes, ma'am, okay, mommy, and just leave it at that, right? So he's popping off at the mouth. And y'all, like, I'm trying not to get myself upset again. Y'all, so he say something, and like, I have to kind of go chase him down real quick, like, boy, come here, what you said? Y'all, and I kid you not. I don't know how I seen it, but I just kind of happened to like look up. Mind you, like I had opened up the windows, I dusted off the fan and stuff. It was like hella dirt, you know what I'm saying? Hella dirt. So I'm like, let me dust off the fan or whatever, open up the windows, get a little circulation in the room. Something was going on with the AC. I think they said like a fuse had broke or something, or whatever the case may have been. And we wasn't getting no AC. So it was hot as hell in the house, right? And that could have been another reason why he's just doing a lot, because it's like we hot. But I have no energy. So y'all, I look up, why do I see the net that's behind, like the screen behind the window? Girl, chopped and screwed, chopped and screwed, chopped and screwed, chopped and screwed. I had to call my mother. Y'all, I had to call my mother and help and beg her to help me calm down, because I was about to lose it. Like I don't know what it was about it, but it was just like it made me want to go off the rails. I just gave him like two pops on the leg, and then I just told him in a very, very, very serious voice, "Go get your behind in that bed. Do not move until I tell you to." Okay, because now you got me messed up. Yeah, and it wasn't like a little, like my cat, when I had a cat, right? I used to open up the window sill and stuff, because they like to sit in the window and all that good stuff. So it was like a couple little scratches, little where you could tell that maybe his nails got caught or he's trying to get out a bug or whatever. No, this wasn't like a little patch here and there, a little opening here. No, he ninja fruit style across the whole thing with some plastic knives that he has in his little kitchen set. Y'all, I lost it. I lost it. Like I was having a whole anxiety attack. Like, why would you do? Like, why? Why would you do that? Like, he's never really done too much, but that was like okay. And then of course after the fact, like I calmed myself down and stuff. Because I've been trying to slow down on the, what I'm saying. So, um, I'm like, let me just calm down, okay? So he ends up, falling asleep, because I told him, don't get out that bed till I tell you to get out that bed. And when I'm done with the live, y'all, I will post on the community tab the video of what he had did, so y'all could get the real context of what I'm talking about. But it just irritated me so bad. So for me, I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, I can't have nothing nice. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand. Like, do you know how much? But I know for him, it's just like words. Like, he don't know. He don't understand what's going on right now. So that's why I had to call my mother, because I'm just like, please help me calm down before I snatch this little boy out his skin. Okay. Because why would you do that? Why are you being messy? So, y'all, long story short, I had to self-reflect. Y'all, I've been really trying to do better with self-reflecting and checking myself before, I go too crazy. And I had to just tell myself, well, obviously he wants your attention. Obviously he did this because he wants your attention. So later that night, I mean that later that day, once he woke up from his nap, I let him know, baby, ain't no TV, ain't no iPad, ain't no phone. Baby, I picked up every little piece of toy that has a claw, a dinosaur, a fake knife. Girl, child, let me tell you something. He used to walk around the house with with his knives like this in his fingers, and like these peppers that he has from his kitchen. and walk around with them in his hands like he's X-Men or something. Like, what's tea? What is tea? What is tea? And I would tell him, like, when it comes to the knives and stuff, like, baby, why? Like, that's not we you're not X-Men, okay? Let's start there. Second of all, if we're gonna play with knives, we're gonna play with them correctly. If you're in your kitchen cooking, and because I have the food that he can like fake chop up and it splits up or whatever with the Velcro stuff, cool, cool. You're using it correctly. But baby, you walk around the house like I'm scared. I'm scared. Like what? Who are you trying to fight? So I took away all the knives. He has this one like claw thing. I don't remember if he had it in the video for Orlando or the one that I'm editing now, but he do like this little movement and the claws come out like X-Men type, right? And I remember we was at the store with Slim and he's hanging off the cart, scraping the ground like he's really like Wolverine or something. Like, bro, you've got to chill out. Okay? You got to chill immediately. So yeah, took everything away. So he had a clear understanding, like, you're on punishment, babe. Like, you're on punishment. And it was just like, well, I'm boring, mommy. I'm boring. I'm bored. Baby, go get a book. Go color. Go do something. But that's no, no. I took away the punching gloves. I took away everything. You got the fruit, the kitchen stuff. You got your books. You got color pencils. I mean, I would have preferred him to color up and down the wall, honestly. Um, you got coloring books. Figure it out. Okay. So that night I went to work and of course TikTok and our phones, they just be listening and stuff. So TikTok is like, I'm getting all these videos about if your toddler is acting up and blah, blah. So I did feel bad at the end. And when we got home and I picked him up that night, he was kind of up and we was laying in the bed and I told him, I said, baby, and I tried to say it in a very soft tone where like he could be open to hearing what I had to say. And I was just like, why did you do that? And he was just like, I don't know, mommy. And I'm just like, okay, well, that was bad, right? And he was just like, yeah, I know. And I said, like, that really hurt mommy's feelings that you felt the need to do that and to destroy something that mommy, works really hard to make sure that we have nice things. And he was just like, okay, mommy, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. But it wasn't until like the third day of not having iPhone, iPad, no TV, no nothing, where it was just like he came to me himself, like, mommy, I'm really sorry. Like, I promise I won't ever do that again. Girl, the claws and stuff is still in the basket, baby. I wish you would touch them. I wish you would. I told him, I said it's a privilege to use those things. And once you show that you can use those things properly, then I will, allow you to get them back piece by piece. But as of right now, mm-mm. So we just been trying to do more with like arts and crafts and stuff. He painted some pictures from Mama Marsha the other day, last weekend, put some sparkles and was mixing colors and stuff, cute. Um, at first he said it was for me, but it's okay. I appreciate it. I get it. Um, we've been working on like, just reading more, the books that he got for his birthday and stuff, like, just really spending more quality time besides screen time and just playing with toys and and then also like trying to explain to him like we're both not fully recovered and I would love to take you to the park, but as of right now I just don't want to take you around other kids and possibly mess up your recovery status or get anybody else sick for whatever, like I just wasn't trying to take those chances. And like once again, I didn't have any like energy at all. And then when I hit my homegirls up, they're laughing and stuff. Like, girl, boys just be doing stuff that like kids just be doing shit. Like, oh no, oh no, not in my house. We will not be doing that one. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Like, I got to figure it out. I got to figure out. And whoever said that raising boys is easier, I don't know. For me, like, I didn't grow up with boys. I didn't, like I didn't like as we start this story time, I started dating girls in high school because I like my relationship with guys was so like all over the place. Like I just felt like I'm good on y'all. I'm good. But it's times where it's just like he do certain things. Like we're at the stage now where we have to really talk about boundaries when it comes to touching my chest and my butt and everything else and touching other people. Like, baby, he be like, I just want you. We're in the conversation phase too, where I had to politely let him know, baby, I will not be marrying you. Okay. I love that you love me that much and you want to protect me and everything, and you can do that, but we is not getting married. That was an interesting conversation as well. Cause it started off with asking like, is me and Slim married? I'm just like, okay, hold on. Where is this coming from? Let's relax. Um Even just touching himself and like even like when I was, cool and speaking with Styles, it would be certain conversations that I would have with him, what does this mean? Like what when he's doing certain things, what is that? Like what how do I stop it or how do I have an understanding with him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for all by all means, I understand like, you're curious, you just want to know, or you might feel something. And I simply just cannot relate because I don't have those parts. But it was refreshing to hear from a man, oh, if certain things, if he do certain things like this or he do certain things like that, it could mean this, it could mean that, like, so it was just helpful. But it was just like, even to this day, there's certain things where it's just like, ain't no way y'all trying to tell me it's easier to raise boys. Like every day we have to have the same conversation of no means no. And I feel like that goes so far when, especially when it comes to the male population, and especially like where we are right now with the whole, would you rather be in the forest with a grizzly bear or a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. But yeah, y'all, he, I have my hands full. He be, just doing shit for sure. Like it is, ugh, Lord. I be having so many questions. So one of these days, I'm gonna have to get on here with y'all, with you know, mommies of course, but boy moms, or, and I hate to use the word boy moms and stuff because it has such a negative connotation behind it. But just mommies who have little boys, who have older boys, like just help me out. I'm trying to understand. I'm really trying to understand. I'm really trying to be there for him and help him feel safe. I don't ever want him to feel awkward or feel like he's nasty, or you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just certain characteristics or certain qualities or certain things that I see where it's like, yeah, that needs to be nipped in the bud like now. Okay. Cause I hate that whole boys are just gonna be boys. Oh, they're just boys. No. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But anywho, as we are marking into the 9:30, because I told you about like 9:30, I want to make sure people got in here, all that good stuff. I want to give a disclaimer before I start my story time. Um, and my disclaimer is just basically saying like this is my experience. Um, this is how I feel, how I viewed the relationship and relationships. Because I'm gonna kind of give y'all a little background and then we're gonna get into the meat of it, and then like post all that in the aftermath, right? So that's just my disclaimer. um and this is just like I said, I feel like I kind of got thrown into YouTube, so just kind of like me doing some self-healing, some self-reflection, but sharing my story with y'all along the way. Also just kind of like showing y'all a little bit more of just me, period, right? So let's get into it. So, like I said, and I think I've said this on a live before, that I want to say around like seventh grade or so, I told my mom I wanted to date girls. And at the time, I had an aunt who identified within the LGBT community, right? At that time, she was still a femme, and a femme is someone who's like feminine, you know, real like girly. Um, it doesn't have to be like really girly, but you know, just feminine. You still wear dresses and skirts and stuff. You know, you wear makeup, all that good stuff, nails, lashes, all that good stuff. Um, she was like, you should talk to your aunt. Now, mind you, like if we really gonna get into the context of things, you know, as a little girl growing up, I would go to certain friends' houses and we would be curious and kind of mess around a little bit and stuff. And so I feel like my attraction to girls was always, you know, something I was curious about and always just something that kind of lingered in the back of my head. So it got to a point though where it was just like I really felt like I don't know how to connect with guys. When all my friends in middle school and stuff, they all having like, you know, boyfriends and stuff. And at the same token, you know, I'm growing up 7 day religious. So anything I was doing, I kind of had to kind of sneak around for it. Um, so I didn't feel comfortable really talking to my parents about, you know, talking to boys and stuff. And then when I would talk to my friends about it, they would just be like, girl, like you're thinking too hard about it. Like just talk to them. They're like, they're people. And it's just like, I feel like they're a whole different species. Like I don't get them. I do not get them. So it got to a point where, like I said, about seventh grade, I was just like, I think I want to start, you know, talking to girls and like openly talk to girls. Right. So my mom told me like I should talk to my aunt. And she was like, I just don't think, you know, you're really ready for that lifestyle. So, you know, I talked to my aunt or whatever. And she was like, you'll know when you're ready. Like, just, you know, you don't have to rush, but like whatever you're comfortable with, like, you know, you'll get there. Like, you have time. So, boom, fast forward to high school. And within that time, like, I didn't feel the support to try to really venture off. So I kind of just kept talking to guys and stuff. But like, you know, just we're in middle school and high school. Like what really all can you do? I mean, don't get me wrong, these kids out here, they doing some stuff. But at that time and place and being in Seventh Day Adventist, like I had to turn my phone in as soon as I got home from school. I could only have it during school. When I would text like after a certain time frame, the phone cuts off. So even if I try to be sneaky or try to be cute about it and like hide the phone or whatever, it's a dub anyway. So I had to sneak to have MySpace and Facebook and all that. In which I end up later deleting my Facebook, but that's another story time. That's how that kind of contributes to when I got sent away. But anywho, so I want to say it was pretty much after I got sent away because the main reason why I got sent away, long story short, was really just because of traumas that I went through with guys that I didn't feel safe or comfortable enough to speak with somebody. And when I did speak to somebody about it, it got around to the whole school and the story got flipped, chopped, screwed, and all type of stuff. And I was getting cyberbullied. And I was being called a hoe and all type of stuff. So I just kind of started spazzing. Like I didn't feel safe anywhere. I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents. My sisters are younger than me. Like, you know, it's just like, what can I really do right now? Um, so once I got out of that situation of being sent away, I just kind of was more open about it. Like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start talking to girls. So at that time, once I got out, I met um, my ex best friend, and um, like everybody used to call me the mini me of her, even though I'm older than her and I was a grade above her. So I think this is probably like my junior year. And this is when I kind of start really just kind of start being rebellious. I didn't really care anymore at this point. So at like once I met her, her mom used to let us do whatever, right? So we smoking black and miles, we going to parties, we drinking and stuff. So me and her end up talking about like, you know, we kind of like girls been kind of making little movements towards us, but you know, we was like, that's weird. Like, you know, trying to feel the temperature within each other, like, girl, you gonna go for it? Because I think I'm gonna go for it. But I don't know. If you go for it, I'm gonna go for it. But if you don't go for it, then I might not go for it. So we end up, I don't know, y'all remember what's that site called? Tagged? We both created a tagged. I think that's what it's called. And made a profile and all that. So we end up start talking to girls and basically just kind of was like, girl, you know what? Like, let's just see what happens, right? So boom, I start talking to girls. She starts talking to girls. We switching girls like, oh, I think you might like her better. Oh, I think you might like her. You know, you should try talking to her. Um, and I had met a girl. So the one girl that I went to school with, I'll never forget. Like that was like my first like real kiss for kissing a girl, and I liked it. Like how Katy Perry said, I liked it, right? Shortly after that, I just kind of kept talking to girls, but more so like the long distance. Like I would purposely talk to girls and match with girls who I could just like sneak and get on FaceTime with, or like chat with like in secret. So nobody really knew I was talking to girls, but like, back then it was just like it was still kind of a big deal, or at least it felt like it. Um, so long story short, I ended up going to prom with a girl. I had to kind of educate my mom, and I feel like I did my part as far as like once I stopped caring so much, like I kind of just opened up to my mom because she used to call studs that would come to the house like, "What is it?" And it used to make me so upset because it's like, why would you do that, girl? Like, why you calling her it? Like, that's a girl. Even if you would have been like, who is he? Or like, he looks strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you would have went that route, like, I would have took that over. What is it? So, I had to kind of educate my mom, like, hey, like, she's a girl. She's more on the masculine side. She likes to dress like this. Boom. So, went to prom with a girl. I started dating this one girl. She had already graduated. Y'all, I messed around. My mama used to have the alarm system, right? And I told my sister we used to always do favors for each other. Like, listen, I need you. We had a dog too, so I need you to go get Basil. Make sure you put a muzzle on that mug, okay? My dad had a sleeping machine. He still does, so that would be kind of loud. And then, but my mom is a very light sleeper, so it was like we taking a chance, y'all. So why one day, long story short, one day I was dating this girl. I asked her for some McDonald's because me and my sister was hungry. Yeah, I thought my sister turned the alarm off. While the alarm is going off, I'm outside. My head is in the car. I'm keying. And that's when I really got outed by my mom, like where it's just like she was like, "Who was that?" And it was just like, "Oh, that was one of my homegirls or whatever." She was like, "But why was your head all in the car?" And I was just like, "Oh, I was just telling her thank you. I was hungry. Me and the girls was hungry. Woo, woo, woo." I'm kissing a girl, all type of shit. So fast forward from that, that's when like I started really booking. I went and got my tongue pierced. I hit that from my parents, but by this time I'm already graduated. Um, and like my mom is making us move back to Chicago, but the outskirts of Chicago, Bloomington. And I'm really not trying to go. And like I'm at this point, I'm really pissed. Like I'm really pissed. But me and the girl that I was talking to at the time, she ends up cheating on me. I mean, we wasn't even like we was in a relationship for real, but she was considered a touch me not. And a touch me not is a girl who either from just her own personal preferences or she's been through certain traumas that she doesn't like to be touched, or that you just might have to ask permission, like, do you mind if I touch you? Just kind of like get that warning ahead of time, like, hey, is it okay if I touch you? So she was a touch me not. So I couldn't touch her or anything like that. Like when we would spend a little bit of time together, like, you know, it wasn't much, right? So boom, we move to Bloomington, but I'm still in contact with my best friend. She matches with this girl. We're gonna call her C, right? Okay. So she matches with this girl C, and she was like, "Oh, mind you, my best friend, for context, my best friend or ex best friend, she was like 5'9". Yeah, I want to say like 5'9", 5'10". Play basketball, all that good stuff, right? We literally look very similar to each other. Just I was the smaller, petite version, and she was just, tall and built like an athlete. And C is a little bit shorter than me, Um, weight wise, like she was smaller than me, and mind you, at this time I'm probably like maybe 112 pounds at that. So she was a lot smaller than me. So for her to try to climb up my best friend's tree was just kind of like, my best friend wasn't feeling it. Like she was just like, she's a pretty girl, but it's just not for me. Now, C is a stud. And stud is just, someone who just dresses very masculine. At the same time, though, like she kind of could pass for femme because like she would do little stuff here and there, but definitely more so consider herself a stud. So, long story short, with that, once me and her started getting into communication and stuff, I used her to move out of my mama house because it was at that time it was a very toxic situation. Um, at this time, I think also we kind of stopped with the practice of a 7 day Adventist, but it was just like a lot going on in the house. And then we had to move to a smaller house when we did move. And it was just like everybody being on top of each other. It was a lot. Okay. So I had to use her to get up out of that house, and she lived in Florida. So I would go visit her. I would take time off of work, and just go visit her from time to time. And eventually she was like, just come live with me. I'm like, bet. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, cool. And then I can explain to my daddy, because at this time I really still hadn't told my daddy that I'm really did like real deal dealing with girls. Like he asked me and I'm trying to play it off like, oh no, daddy, they're just friends. Like I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of, just kind of seeing how things go. But I'm really like, like really like getting down with girls. Like, y'all, it was a time in the car outside my house, just doing stuff, right? Anyways, so once I moved down to Daytona Beach with this girl, move in, mind you, for context, with her um grandma like plays a big role in her life. Her mom and her dad was in her life, they were present, but her grandma was like the main person in her life, right? And her grandma, I believe she was a pastor, I believe. So I feel like her grandma knew what was tea, but it was like she was waiting for C to come out and tell her like this is what's going on. So it would just always be like, you know how your parents do when they don't approve of somebody, oh, your little roommate, your little friend. So that's basically what it was. But yeah, y'all, I moved all the way out to Daytona from Bloomington, Normal, Illinois. After that winter, I had to. I didn't give a damn where I went. Honestly, I had to. Um, I saved up probably like a good $1,500, and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. So I move in with Shorty, and everything is cool at first. At first, she's like, I don't have to work and blah blah blah. But then eventually, it's like kind of like, I want my own money. I want my own. So boom, start working and stuff. That's when I start working. I want to say I started working at Dick's Sporting Goods, and then somehow, some way, my best friend is going through it with her mom, and I'm just like, well, F it, like, come on, come live with us. So she moved in, and she ended up meeting this girl. I want to say her name. Let's say her name was Kay, right? So now, um, it's four of us. Um, it's me and C, and then my ex best friend and K, and um, we vibing and stuff. But I think it ends up being like where my ex best friend and K end up getting into it or whatever, and K gotta go. But also, me and C would kind of start bumping heads a little bit, and it was to the point where it was like C and my ex best friend was getting into it, and it was just it was getting messy. And my ex best friend is the one who kind of got me, not kind of, she got me started into being in the nightlife and dancing and all that. So like my ex best friends would just be plotting and stuff, but it's just like, to be fair, like I moved out to be with this girl. I came and moved into her stuff. Eventually, by this time, like we've probably moved a couple times. So like now I'm contributing. So it's not like it's just her, but it's just like, like let's be for real here. Like I'm using her car when I get a chance, like, or we're using the car so that we can go to work while she sleeps and stuff and all that good stuff. Just a lot going on, right? Find out that C was starting to cheat on me, what I call a knockoff version of me, right? So, and by this time, I think my ex best friend is gone. She's out the picture because it was just too much commotion in the house. So it's just like I'm gonna just focus on my relationship and just try to make things work. My ex best friend ends up moving back to Atlanta. Cool, but this is when like the problems start coming in with you know dating females. Like it was like anytime me and C would have an issue, I've been through therapy majority of my life, my childhood life. So I was like willing to talk. You know what I'm saying? But she would be the type to kind of shut down and like she don't want to talk. So now at this point in our relationship where she starts cheating on me and we was together for what, like I want to say like 2 years or so. At this point I've had it. I'm shutting down. I don't want to talk no more. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I don't care. Like leave me alone. So it made it awkward in the house or whatever. But um it was like now she want to talk and now she want to try to work things out or whatever the case may be. So I finesse it to the situation because one thing I will say, I won't say I'm a very innocent person. I have had my flaws and I have had my times. So I finesse the situation where it's like, well, I'm trying to get back to Atlanta. So I'm about to do whatever I gotta do to get back to Atlanta and get there, right. So I finally was able to save up to get me a car. My first car was a Honda Civic Coupe. She was blue. We used to call her my little spaceship. And I was so like happy. So we packed up the car, her truck. We packed up everything we could, and in the middle of hurricane season, we got the hell on. Excuse me. And we moved to I want to say Duluth in Georgia, right? So fast forward from that. Once we got to Atlanta, things didn't. It wasn't like things was peaches and cream, but we got the hell on. And I'm trying to just like work it in my favor as much as I possibly can. At this time, we did have pets together. We had two dogs, two Yorkies. One was a female, one was a male. Um, like she was a big dog person and stuff, so that was who got me into like dogs like that to begin with. But it just got to the point we would argue over little petty stuff like who's gonna walk the dog, who's gonna pick up the dog shit. Like it's just like bro, like let's be for real. Like be act like an adult, like act your age. And it would just be the pettiness. Like that's one thing I can say. Like I don't want to say it like as if guys don't be petty, but y'all know how we are as women. When we get petty, baby, we getting petty. So it got to the point it started just really pushing me, pushing me, pushing me, pushing me, pushing me. And I went out one night. And at this point in time, this was when opera, if you're in Atlanta, you know, opera, you will go on Wednesdays for the 18 and up club, the 18 and up folks, right? Because when did they start making all clubs like 21 and up? I can't remember. But anyways, this was 18 and up. And I go out one night and that's when I end up meeting my ex-girlfriend. And like I seen her, she seen me. But when I first seen her, she knew the group of girls I went out with. So I was like kind of new coming into the group. So I seen her first, but I didn't really say anything. But I was just like, she looked interesting. Like, but at the time, Shorty, her eyebrows used to be like the block real thick, like just boom, like okay. So like it almost gave like old school Egyptian, like how they make them look in the books, like in the history books. So she was very intriguing to look at, like for me, in my opinion. And she had a nice little body. Like, she wasn't like super baggy on the clothes, but like it was enough where you could tell like she got a little body on her. Like she got some hips and all that. I'm like, okay, like I'm digging Shorty. She cute. Everybody tell me like, nah, you don't want her, like you don't want her, you don't want her. So of course me, I'm like, when somebody tells me don't touch it, now I feel like I gotta touch it. Like that's my problem. Right. So Shorty had came in there with a whole other girl, right? I'm with my homegirls and we're dancing, we're having a good time. It's some other little shorty that's like looking at me. You know, at this point, I feel like I didn't got my feet wet. I didn't live with a whole girl. I've been in a relationship with a whole girl. I'm trying to see what's tea. Like I'm, you know, like what's up. So the shorty starts making out with me, and I still got the video on my phone, y'all. Still got the video on my phone. The shorty starts making out with me. My homegirl Kiara, she's yelling at me like, "Mono, mono, bitch, stop, mono! Like you don't know this hoe." And I'm like, you know what? You right. You right. That's what you get for underage drink. You just doing shit that you ain't got no business doing. Just doing shit, right? But as I'm doing this, as I'm making out with this girl, my ex, and we're gonna call her Jay. My ex Jay come out of nowhere and she's like hyping it up. And mind you, like I said, she came in with somebody completely different, right? So at this point, she ditched her shorty. But little did I know, the girl that I'm making out with, the reason why she was hyping it up was because she was low key talking to the girl I'm making out with or whatever. So she's like trying to figure out how she fit in the equation and stuff. So we end up exchanging numbers and we go on about our business or whatever. So when I get home, at this point, the environment is so hostile, y'all. It's so hostile. Um, and my ex, I can't remember who was like, I can't remember if like she was paying more of the bills or something or what it was. But Shorty basically took, like we had a 2-bedroom apartment. She took everything I had and put it in the second bedroom and locked the main bedroom. Like, yeah, bitch, you gotta figure out what you're doing. You not staying in this room with me. So I'm like, damn. But like with her with C, it would just be like from time to time though, she would, you know, be nice and you know, want to cuddle and stuff. It's like as if she's just like lonely or whatever. Okay, cool, boom. So sometimes like I would get to lay in the bed, sometimes I wouldn't. So it just got to a point where it was just like at this point, my mind is like shifting to somebody else. Like I'm completely out of love. Like I girl, you, okay, you. So with that, she ends up seeing that like I guess she see my phone like that I'm texting somebody new or whatever. So that's when she really like just completely like cuts me off like you need to go. I don't give a fuck where you go, but you need to go. So at this point, I'm just like, damn. And I think by this point, I was working as like a waitress at a place called Tilted Kill. I don't know if they have any of those anymore, but those are kind of like a Hooters, right? So we have like this little bralette and this little skirt and shit. But the manager at that place used to talk to me as if like he was a customer at the club. So it gave me that feeling like I'm just gonna go back to the club. I end up just leaving it behind completely, and I end up working at a club. And but I'm talking to Jay, like I'm so intrigued, y'all. Like I'm just like, okay. And she's like, she's younger, but she wouldn't tell me how old she is. And I should have knew right there. Also, when you ask somebody how old they are, why are you playing around, like why are you beating around the bush? Just tell me how old you are. Like at this point it's giving childish. And it's just like, I mean, I'm not that old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm probably like 18. So it's just like, I mean, how old could you be? You know, come to find out, y'all, the little girl just had graduated high school. And at this point, I'm like, what, like a year or two out of high school? Like maybe almost going 3 years out of high school. I don't know. But I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. Like, as long as you don't act young and immature, like we could be cool. Like, and I'm one to like make somebody be cool with me first before we even really take it there. But she had a little, you know, a little razzle dazzle about her. I ain't gonna hold you. She had a little razzle dazzle about her. Very charming. One thing about Jay, she's very, very charming. She's a people person. She's an Aries, so very fiery. You know, and like just loves very hard, right? So it was one day where it's like I'm at this point I'm kicked out the house. So I gotta figure it out. So like I said, I'm working at a club, so I scrape up some dollars and stuff, and it's either like I can go hotel hop or I could hit Shorty up. So I hit Shorty up. And she was like, she wanted me to pull up on her. Mind you, she lived with her brother and the brother's girlfriend. So um I go over there. When I say she knocks my Mario coins out, okay. She knocked the Mario coins out, right? So at this point, I'm low key attached, but I'm trying to play it cool. But she's not like it's not giving. I'm playing it cool at all. It's very much like you're mine. Okay, you're not going anywhere. It was supposed to be really, if we're gonna keep it real, it was supposed to be a one night stand for real, for real. It was supposed to be I was gonna pull up on Shorty, get my little 1-2 off, and then like not talk to the girl again. Y'all had me fooled, right? So, and I'm talking about I had all type of like hickeys and bite marks and stuff. Like this girl, like she girl, y'all, girl, she knew what she was doing, and she was dead ass wrong for that. Mind you, her brother and the girlfriend is in another room. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know they hurt us. Like, we on a mattress out in the living room. Like, I know they hurt us. Like, it's embarrassing when you really think about it. And it's just like, girl, you just being fast. Just being fast. Be ashamed of yourself. But anywho, so after that, it was just like we were inseparable. You understand? Inseparable, right? So, um, now some stuff kind of be a little bit blurry in and out because like the beginning part, it was just like it's honeymoon, like we in love, like we just in love. Like you can't tell me I don't love this girl and she don't love me. Like we in love. I everywhere she at, I'm right there with her. Like unless like I had family time come in town because at one point my mother came down because she was like, you know, like what's going on with you and C? Like what's going on? So I tell her the breakdown, like I'm telling her what happened, what's going on or whatever, right? So my mom's like, I'm coming down there. Bet. And I want to say everybody came down. Like my mama, my daddy, my sisters, everybody is down here. And they come by the house or whatever because they was like, I want to talk to C. I want to see what's going on or whatever. And of course, C trying to play it off like, you know, woo, woo, like it ain't that. And, you know, like we kind of get into it a little bit. And it's just like one thing about me, I don't play about how you speak to my people. I don't give a damn how old you are. I don't give a damn what bills you pay. I don't give a damn what you got going on. But what you're not gonna do, because I grew up in such a close knit family, like we all really ride for each other. Like when I say like my immediate, like my mama, my daddy, my sisters, like I don't play about them. I do not play about them. So, you know, it got to a point a couple times where my sister Jaden, she, you know, she's the more rowdy one. Like she be ready, like, bitch, what's up? What's up? What you trying to do? And it's just like, okay, what we're not gonna fight. Okay, y'all, we that like it's unnecessary. So I'm trying to transition my way up out of this situation without like it getting too reckless, too crazy, but also kind of entertain this new little fling I got or whatever. And when she really like, what really ticked C off, which she had every right to be like no, for real, you really got to go. It was a time where C went out of town and I had Jay in the house with me and we was laid up in the bed. Yeah, just doing shit. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's what I'm saying. I don't, in no shape or form, do I feel like I am innocent and I don't play my part in stuff as well. Okay. So I had her in the house. And at that point, it was just like, yeah, bitch, you got stuck out. Like, I don't know who you think you got stuck out. Okay. So at this point, like, I'm either sleeping in my car or if I can get some dollars together, I go get a hotel, motel, whatever the case is, and just try to like figure it out, right? So it gets to the point where now Jay is kind of like I said, we're inseparable. So it's just like wherever I go, she goes. So if I'm in a car, she in a car. If I'm in a hotel, she in a hotel. But the gag was, okay, like the first couple times, it's just me and her. Then she introduces me to her best friend. Her best friend is even younger than her. Her best friend got a mouth on her too. She tall, thin. and just don't give up. You know what I'm saying? She was on the fast side when it came to dudes. Like every time we was going out to the clubs, you know what I'm saying? She talking to somebody else and would leave with them. Like I don't know what they did, so I'm not going. That's not my story to tell, right? But it was just like just for context, like she would be talking to different people or whatever. Okay, cool. So boom. After a little bit of time, I'm like, was somebody gonna help me with these rooms? Cause it's like you talking about I need to get a room that's big enough for the three of us, baby. It could be just me. Like for real, it could really just be just me. And then, like I said, the girl was a charmer. So usually I'm the finesser. She's finessing me, right? So it was a few times I got a room where it's like, well, she could sleep on the floor, or if it comes with a like two twin beds or two double beds or whatever, she could say like, I'm not mean. I'm not, gonna say she can't go nowhere because obviously at this point we're all homeless, okay? Like we're figuring it out. But I'm the cash cow. So um it got to a point where it's like I'm tired of doing the hotel and car stuff though. It was just like I'm spending too much on this stuff. I need to get me an apartment. So at this point, I'm working at a new club. At this point, I was working at Cheetah. Okay, because the first club I ever worked at was Strokers. So the new club I'm working at is Cheetah. It took a little second for me to get in there. My ex best friend, she's still in the picture at this time, and she's the one that convinced me to come to Strokers. She was like, "I'm just gonna give you a heads up. We gotta get naked in this club." And I'm just like, in Florida, we ain't have to get naked. So this was like, I don't know. And mind you, I'm a toothpick. I ain't really got much to look at. Like I always had like a little, curvy body, but I'm small. And but I would always wear like blonde hair and stuff. So a lot of times people thought I was a white girl. I mean, I got that all my life, so at this point it didn't bother me or whatever. But like the girls at Strokers was like, "Girl, let me tell you something. This is not your cup of tea." Okay, I'm trying to tell you this right now. I didn't know how to dance either for real. Like I had rhythm. I could dance. Like I used to do dance classes, but as far as twerking and shaking my butt, like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. Girl, I didn't know. So they would give her lessons and stuff like, stand back, do this, pop it, like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But they told me, like, Shorty, you need to go to Cheetah. I'm telling you right now, this is not the crowd for you. Just go to Cheetah. So Cheetah was definitely like more, that gentleman's club for real, for real. And y'all. Finally scraped up me some dollars. At this point, I feel like I'm making some money. She's got money, honey. I'm like, I got the big ones. Like I'm talking about, my wallet can't even zip up for real. I just got so much. I don't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish I would have had like a real mentor and like real guidance from like just my parents and stuff. And I will say, when I was in Florida, I did tell my mom. That's when I told my mom that I was dancing and stuff, because it was a man that was going around pricking his finger and infecting girls with HIVs and AIDS and stuff, like forcing himself on girls and fingering them and like, contaminating them and all that. So it was just like, let me tell my mom in case anything ever happens to me, like so somebody knows what's going on, so they can't ever be like, not my baby. Like, no, you got the wrong girl. Like, no, baby, that was your baby. Right. So get me some dollars to get me an apartment. Y'all, I got me my first apartment in Stone Mountain. It was a two-bedroom, two bath for 676. I will never forget this. 676. I was just like, what? Like, this is lit. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing. So now I got me a car. I got me my own little spot. And of course, Shorty finessed her way into, moving in, not just her, but her and Bestie. Y'all, that's when shit started going left. But I'm still so in love. The girl knocked at these Mario cones so loose that I can't apparently think straight. So I just keep getting finesse, 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 finesse. But 676, y'all could not beat it. I didn't give a damn if her, your best friend, and we get some dogs. Like, baby, I don't care. And that what ended up happening. Like we end up, I took one dog. My ex C took the other dog. She took the female dog because I don't like female animals. I don't like that attitude. Like she used to be real stank with me, like, but only will come around when I'm cooking. Like, girl, I don't beat it. So Yeah, so at this point we all moved in. I'm like, I got a little futon. I go and buy some couple of TVs. They on the floor. Like y'all, it's like I'm really hustling. Like I'm just trying to just do what I can. And it's literally just me. Um, I want to say the bestie, Jay's bestie, she would get like little jobs here and there, or she would just get money from the dude she was talking to. Excuse me. Jay, she always been like a little hustler herself. Like she would get, like she would always be kind of like into that party promotion and just like messing with certain people, not messing, but like being cool with certain people, being affiliated and associated with certain people. Like she would, figure out how to get her cut off of stuff or whatever. Okay, cool. So like, she would have a little bit of money here and there, but it wasn't like nothing to be helping with bills or helping put gas in the car or not, like none of the essentials, right? So it got to one night. I'm at work. I'm at Cheetah, and Cheetah is a very strict establishment when it comes to the nightlife and dancing, right? You have scheduled days. You have like when you're stage set, like they have colors for stage set. So once you clock in, you have to talk to the house mom. They tell you what your color is for your stage set. So once that color pops up, your ass better get to that stage unless you know in a VIP or something. Very strict. You can't wear boots. You can't wear certain things. Everything had to come from the boutique. Like it's very expensive. You know what I'm saying? You have to buy their stuff, and their stuff was not cheap at all. So I get a message from Jay, and I guess she's trying to be funny or whatever. And she sent me a picture of like my dirty drawers or whatever on the floor or whatever. And it's just like, okay, if they fell out the hamper or if they next to the hamper, just put them in the hamper. Like, what do you like? What's your point? Excuse me. So long story short, with that, the girl kept trying me. Like we at this point we going back and forth because bitch, what's your point? Bitch, you don't pay no bills. You don't do nothing. You don't do shit. So both of y'all can really get the out of my house for real. So like she was trying to say like I'm messy, I'm dirty. Excuse me, y'all. So much drainage. Anywho, she was trying to say like I'm messy, I'm dirty, whatever. Okay, bitch, I don't give off. Okay, you and your bestie can get the hell on for real. Like, cause what are y'all doing? Like, what's your point? Wash clothes or something? Like wash clothes? Like, what do you mean? So at this point, we going back and forth so bad that I had to excuse myself. I had to tell them I got an emergency at home. I need to go right now. Okay, I need to go right now. Right. This was our very first fight, like real deal fight. Right. I get home, baby. I parked their car, something so crazy. I get in that motherfucker, and I like me and her, we argue whatever, and it's to the point where her best friend keep trying to chime in. It's like, bitch, you can shut the up, okay? Because no one's talking to you. No one's talking to you. And then here she comes. You're not gonna talk to my best friend like that, and da, 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 da. But y'all both could get it for real, for real. So I can't remember exactly detail for detail, so I don't want to like over sugarcoat things or make it like glam it up or make it seem like this or that, or whatever. I just know at the end of the fight, the police were called. Um, she had taken my phone, and she used to do that shit all the time, y'all. That shit used to really piss me off. She had taken my phone. The police were called. The police was like, "Well, there's nothing really we could do about it. Like, hopefully she come back with your stuff now." Um, she had took me by my hair. I think at this time I was still wearing like sew-ins, so she would take me by my hair and like drag me in the house. Like the girl was strong. Like don't get me wrong, she was a sturdy bitch. Like when I say like she's built like sturdy. So I had tried to hold my own for as long as I could, but it was just like she really was whooping me for real. Like we're gonna be honest. So once the police come and stuff and they tell us to go our separate ways, I'm like, yeah, y'all gotta get the fuck out of my house. Y'all gotta go, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta go. Like I said, my phone is missing, my car key is missing, so I can't go anywhere. Like she used to always do shit like this. And it's like now looking back, it's like I should have packed my shit up and left. I should have left because the money I was making at Cheetah, baby, that was nothing. I was making that the rent in a day, if that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in an hour or so. Like And it was just like, but I'm so like caught up. And this is why I tell y'all, like, I'm on this journey of self-love and self-respect and just like my self-worth, because it's just like that alone should have been enough. Like, girl, I didn't supported you and your bestie. Y'all in my house eating up my food, like taking up my space. And I'm one of those type of people. I enjoy my space by myself. Like, I love like this, how it's quiet. Love it. Love it. So it's just like, be for real here. But me, like convinced that she loves me and this, that, and the third, I'm just like, like I'm like, let me just calm down, let me calm down. And once she came back, she was once again a charmer, real sweet, and just gaslighting me, love bombing me. And at the time, I didn't know what those words were. I didn't know what it meant. I'm just like, well, she loves me. She came back and she's really apologetic and just really like, rubbing on me and just really trying to cater to me and stuff. But girl, love bombing me and gaslighting me. So from there, I told her like, well, listen, your best friend can't come back because all that talking she doing, bitch, you gotta go. You gotta go. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna tell her she gotta go, she can't come back, blah, 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 blah. And of course, like she would try to finesse her way where like best friend would be coming over sometimes here and there, or like she would ask like if best friend and whatever dude she was dealing with at the time could come over for a little bit to come smoke and this, that, and the third. It was just like, just trying to work her little one too. So fast forward, and um Jay also used to like be in and out of jail. And I was the first relationship where like I really had to deal with somebody who be in and out of jail. And for me, it was just like kind of traumatizing because it was just like, we laid up every day together, like, like that young puppy love and stuff. And then it was just like, boom, I can't remember what happened. I want to say something. It was like, I want to say like her best friend, like, cause her best friend used to kind of like jug stuff from the store sometimes. So I can't remember if it was like one time one of them got caught up or they both got caught up or I don't know. And I think she also had a warrant for whatever reason. And it was just a mess. It was just a mess. It was one time where it was like we could just pay them off and just give them back whatever. What I think it was like some DVDs that the best friend was stealing or something. Like she had them in her jean jacket. Like, no, it wasn't paid at all. They took her ass to jail that night. Yeah. They took her ass to jail that night, but I remember that Jay went and bonded her out, and I'm saying, okay, cool. Then there was another time where Jay had to go check in because she was on probation. That's what it was, and I think she violated a probation from the whole Walmart situation. So when she got there, and we was all the way in like Hall County, and if y'all know about Hall County, like that's the back of the neck of the woods, West Bumblefuck, like it's far as hell, very Caucasian, like, what I'm saying? So very strict. So we in Hall County to go check her in for her probation or whatever, to go talk to her people. And it was like when we get there, they're like, are you such and such? And she was like, yeah. And it was all I heard was clink clink. And I'm just like, damn, I gotta take this job back by myself. They taking my shorty, like, so I'm texting her, like I'm boohoo crying, like, baby, I love you so much. Like, I gonna miss you. Like, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be here when you get out. Da, da, da. Like, just keep talking to me before you get to the police station. And like, she's talking to me like, baby, I love you so much. Da, 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 woo. Every day this girl was in jail, I'm texting her phone, knowing that she can't get the message. But I want when she gets out, I want her to be able to see. Like, I'm thinking about you. Like, baby, I love you so much. Like, I'm just waiting for you to get home. I can't wait for you to get home. Da, da, da. Yeah, one of those. One of those. Um. So that was one instance, right? We fast forward a little bit more, and y'all, every time I move, like the girl just happens to be like right with me. Like it's just like it's just like always, no matter how much we would fight and stuff, it was just like she was always there. And like I said, at the time I didn't understand and really know what love bombing was, and like the relationship she had with her mom, it makes sense now because the way her mom talks to her, I don't know if they have a current relationship right now, but from what I knew, the whole 5 years we were together, her mom would like, do like the religious attack and like, God's gonna send you to hell for being gay. Um, you don't love yourself, like just really just talking down to her, calling her all type of hoes and sluts, and just like really just bashing her, whatever. And I felt bad. Like I felt really empathetic towards that and sympathetic towards it. And it was just like, because um, even though my parents never talked to me like that, I was always told, like, when I did come out to my parents, to basically like don't tell my grandparents and my dad's side of the family what was going on behind closed doors as far as like dating women and talking to girls and stuff, because it would be frowned upon. And so I understood like the whole religious attack about it, and it just was like, I felt bad. So that was another thing that I felt like, not that she used it, but I just like, I felt bad. So yeah, boom, we moved to a few different spots, a few different places and stuff. Shorty would break up stuff. Like, y'all, I still have the screenshots from when she broke my TVs. I made her eventually like go get a job, because I used to like really bitch at her, like, you don't do shit. You don't do shit. Like, what are you doing? Like, make it make sense. So she would drop me off at work and go work, which was really selling that powder. But, okay. And doing activities like that. Um and but what I didn't know was that she was partaking in her product, and it got to a point where like we started going down a real big like rabbit hole of like abusing drugs. And that was a lot to take on. Like I said, I'm probably at this point, once the drug use started coming, I probably was like 20, 21, because I turned 21 in Cheetah, like at like, like I was still working for Cheetah. Because I was able to start drinking. Because that's after that I started going buck wild in there. Y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, my little drink combination used to give me 6 shots of Patron chilled with lime, and in between my 6 shots of Patron chilled with lime, I would get raspberry Grey Goose lemon drops. Right, just acting a fool, y'all, acting a fool. So boom, at this time, we both kind of going off the rails. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to get through life. I feel like for me, I was still dealing with past traumas with guys. Being a dancer definitely does not help with those type of traumas. You really get to see people and men, and I say people because women come in and they show their ass too sometimes. But you really see how men conduct themselves when they're not with their wives, their girlfriends, whoever the case may be. And just like when they how they act, they try to blame it on alcohol or whatever substance they're on, and just just different things that guys do, right? So I'm off the rails with the drinking and stuff. She's partaking and dipping in her product and stuff, getting high as fuck. We both like with smoke. She's the one who taught me how to roll up. And it was at one point, we was one place we moved to where she convinced me to take some Molly, and Molly make you talk. So we're talking and stuff, but then I think my sisters were in town one time, so she gets to talking to one of my sisters, and my sister is telling her information that don't have nothing to do with her, like, but I feel like it was provoked from Jay's side, on the strength of like she was just always one of them, like she needed to know my background and like just everything about me. And it's just like some stuff I feel like boundary wise, you don't have like some stuff, yes, it's important to know. But some stuff, it's none of your business. Whatever I went through in high school with whoever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, it's none of your business, right? So that me and my sister end up falling out because of that. Because it's like, why are you being messy? And then like with Jay, it's just like, girl, you, because like nobody's past is completely clean. Like, don't try to deflect from the fact that what you're doing has to do with me, and you want to find something to nitpick about. Like, let's be for real here. I'm still the one paying all the bills. I'm still the one providing a lot of stuff. You might help out with some groceries here and there, or put a little gas in the car here and there, but like, let's be for real, you're not really doing too much. Like, and she was one of those who, instead of helping out with bills, she would save her money so that we could go on little trips and stuff, like go to Florida or go here, go there. And in a sense it was appreciated, but at the same time it's like I'd rather you help with the bills than trying to splurge and take me on a trip and like I baby, let's focus on the priorities right here right now, because when we get back from our trip it's back to the same BS, right? So um from there, um the trust was just starting to really break. Like at this point it's just like the person who I thought I was in love with is not the person that I'm seeing in front of me. Like it's just like everything is just unraveling. Like I don't get it. But it's like the shorty would just never leave though. Like we would be arguing and be going back and forth and bickering about this, that, and the third. And then I would just get like this confusion of what love was, because I felt like even though we're fighting, even though I'm busting her lip and busting her eye and she's busting my nose, she always comes back. So at least, that she is showing that she loves me. And mind you, like this girl would be the type, like I could just got off of work and I'm, not to be nasty, but I could have just gotten off of work. I ain't took no shower yet. And she would be ready to look every inch of my body. So in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, she really loves me. She's obsessed with me. But that obsession was not nothing to be bragging about or nothing to, like be like, oh yeah, that's love. Like, no, it like obsession is obsession and love is love. Like, and later now I know the difference, but it was just like, like we gonna always be together. Like, yeah, it's rough right now, but you know, she loves me. Girl, please. So from there, it just got to a point where it was just like, with the drugs though, you got to chill out, okay? Because it was definitely causing a lot of the fights. And at this point, she crashed my car. She says, allegedly, that it was a raining night and somebody hit her from the back and it spun out and like it hit it hit the walls, like she was under a tunnel or something, it hit the walls or the median or whatever. And it was a dad and a daughter and they got out the car and they're like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Mind you though, the girl used to pop Xanax and drink at the same time. So at this point, the girl is in autopilot, but she swear up and down like that this time she didn't do that, like it really wasn't her fault and blah 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 blah. I just see the comment, it was dangerous with her. That's why I labeled this surviving my ex, because a lot of stuff, honestly, y'all, God, okay, God. So, mind you, like I told you, she was dropping me off and picking me up at work. So it's like, now what the am I supposed to do? And like, yes, I'm glad you're okay, but it's just like at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're taking away more than adding to, like, to help. Like, I just like it's irritating. We go to her brother. Her brother was a car salesman at the time. We go to her brother. He gets me into a car and all that good stuff. But he sends her a check for $1,000. I don't know what the $1,000 for. I don't know if it was for a referral for using me, but I just felt like, bitch, the least you could have did was give me that $1,000. Like, you totaled my car. I had to go get a whole new car, pay a down payment for it and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at this point, I think we're living in Buckhead. Like, we're living in Buckhead. So rent is not cheap. Rent is probably, I went from 676 to I'm making money now and just being young and dumb to now I'm paying like 1,700 for a one bedroom in Buckhead because I'm trying to be that girly. Um and at the time, like money still wasn't a problem, but it was just like still like, just like when you look back, it's just like, girl, you could have been doing other stuff. But anyways, so um yeah, her brother sends her $1,000. She don't help out at all with that. It was at this particular apartment, y'all. I will never forget this. In this particular apartment, we used to get into it so bad. They had a concierge and all that good stuff. So it was like real bougie, real like, you can't get in unless you are buzzed in. And once you're buzzed in, you have to talk to the concierge unless you live there and you can make your way up by yourself. And so um y'all, we used to get into it so bad. It would be so many complaints. The police would come. Now, it was a few fights that I can remember, right, from this specific location. Because we was living at, it was called the Venue Brookwood. And it's right by, if y'all live in Atlanta, it's right by 1145, right, for context. So I'm still dancing, obviously. Um, at this point, she would go through my phone from time to time. I'm not gonna hold you. I was entertaining guys from time to time because it's like they're customers. Like I need them to keep coming back. You get me? And it's just like I'm heavily flirting. But for her, it's just like, why are you entertaining these people? Period. When you get off work, you need to just leave it at work. But that's not how the nightlife works. Like that's why it's hard, like to really date when you're in this type of lifestyle, because it's like you got to have tough skin for it. You got to be able to really understand what comes with it, especially as a dancer. And so she would be insecure about the conversations I was having, and how I'll be entertaining people. And I don't really, I guess the word insecure is not really the best word, but it would add to her insecurities that she had. I guess that's a better way to phrase it. Um, because she already kind of had like that jealous nature of her, and just like I said, obsessed, and just like she didn't want nobody touching me, breathing me, looking at me, anything unless it was okay for her. Because she used to kind of, I don't want to say like pimp me out, but like she used to like try to get me to mess around with other girlies with her and stuff, and like try to like boost me and gaslight me, like, oh, I just love how it looks when I see you with somebody, with another girl, and blah blah blah. Anyways, so she was in her feels about like me entertaining guys and stuff while I'm working and stuff and reading my messages or whatever. So we get into a really bad one time. And I also had a male best friend from high school that like we never really like did anything, but like he just always kind of made me feel safe and stuff. And like, like at one point we tried to see what it would be, but he ended up meeting his baby mama. Long story short, he ended up disappearing. Okay, cool. But anytime we would talk, it would just be very caring, and like, just catching up. It would almost be like we never stopped being cool or talking. Like it would just kind of like just resume right where we left off at. She didn't like the way I was talking to him or whatever. So whenever she would try to confront me, at this point, like the way she would try to confront me would be so just like aggressive, that it would make me just kind of shut down, or just feel like I don't want to get into it with you, because I already knew what was coming behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like I already knew the type of smoke that would come behind it. So I was also one of them type of people that after a certain time, I think especially after C, all, not all, but majority of the training and the work that I put in through therapy had, like, how to diffuse situations, and just take a moment for yourself, was starting to kind of wither away. I always start off with my warnings. I always like, can you please give me a moment? Can you give me some space? Like I need some space. Okay. I need a moment. Um, and it was just like, she was one of those who, like, when I said I'm going in the room for a second, she would follow me in the room and still be trying to talk about it, and still be talking and talking and talking. And then for me, it would just be like, I can't even think straight, and I would just start spazzing, right? So now we arguing for real. And it would get to the point where she would just kind of like, she wouldn't touch, or she was one of those like instigate, very much an instigator, right? So she would kind of like come up on me, but she wouldn't touch me. And like, it's just like, I need space, like move. And so that would start a lot of fights too, where it's just like, you're taken away from the boundary that I'm asking to put up, and you just feel like your boundary. I said what I said. We gonna talk about it right now. I don't care how you feel about it. And it was just like, bro, like, just get out of my face. And thank you, Navy Blueprint. And from there, it was just like, okay, we finna do it then. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Cool. So it was a couple really bad fights, where one fight, like, I don't like driving. If I can be a passenger person, I will be that. Even if it's my own car, baby. I can't wait to get in the passenger seat and kick back, right? So she would drive a lot of the times, and it was this one particular time I can remember. It was a new, like, I had just been getting into wigs and stuff, and at that time, wigs was hell of expensive. They were like $800, like for like a full lace, like, and it wouldn't be no like like luxury wig. It was just Muz didn't know nothing about wigs for us, so people could tax real. I'm going to like private vendors, like private people and stuff, buying wigs, whatever. Like them bitches was high. Okay, I'm gonna just say that, right? So I think it was a blonde wig, because blonde was one of my go-to colors, and it was a point where we are arguing so bad, y'all. I don't remember where we were coming from. I just remember we was on the way to the house, and we're arguing so bad, y'all. And it's to the point where in my head, I'm trying to calculate how I'm about to get out this car. I got to get out this car. I got to get out this car. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, am I about to like, how am I about to try to snatch the keys out? Like, I got to figure out how to get her to pull the car over and stop the car and park it or whatever. So I start pulling on the wheel. Yes, ma'am. I'm pulling on that wheel. And we doing all this and stuff, and like, hey, bro, chill out, and da da da. I'm just like, no, bitch, you. Like, I'm pulling on that wheel. So I keep doing it. So I'm like, baby, I crash us both. I don't give a damn at this point. Like, you really got me messed up. Like, I don't care. And another background context is that I have in the past really suffered with mental illnesses as well. And I feel like that's another reason why I was so hung up on, like, oh, this is love, this is love, this is love. Cause it was just like I'm battling myself. And it was times where like the self-love for myself really was not there. And my mom and my dad, they really did try their best to try to really like pour into me about self-love and to look in the mirror and appreciate who I am and what I look like and my features. Like I said, that's a whole nother ballgame, a whole nother story, like just constant, like never being black enough, but not like I'm I'm not white, you know what I'm saying? But I can be white passing at times, or I can be biracial passing at times. And it's just like, I never felt like myself, and I never really felt like I could fit in. Like, it's just all these different factors, right? So, anyways, we get into this really bad fight. I'm trying to pull the car over. I'm at this point, I'm willing to crash out. I don't give a damn. Okay, I pull this car over now. Now, you're not gonna talk to me in my shit like this. For one, for two, if you don't like it here, you can go. That was one of my main things that I will always say, baby. I don't care. Go, leave, leave, leave. If you hate it here, leave. Please leave. And she would just be like, no, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. This, that, and the third. And it's just like, bro, like, what the hell? So, y'all, she finally pulls the car over because it was like I said, I'm ready to crash out. Ready to crash out. She pulls the car over, get her to put it in park. We arguing and shit. I'm trying to be slick about it. Like, I'm trying to finesse my 1-2. So I know in my head it gotta be quick. The transaction gotta be quick, because at this point it's still one of them cars that you gotta put the key in and turn it. You know what I'm saying? To get it to the engine to ignite, right? So I'm like, I got to get this key. I can't fuck up. Okay. But I'm thinking in my head, like, once I get the key though, I'm still arguing with this much. I'm still arguing, or like, if I'm not arguing, I'm like, just in my head, I'm really just like zoned out. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, like, fuck, what am I about to do? So I'm like, once I grab the key, what am I going to do with the key? You know what I'm saying? So this is what I do, y'all. Thank you. So I grab the key, like I take out the ignition and I tuck it in my titty. Mind you, I don't have no titties at the time, but I tuck it in my bra and I act like I threw it. So I'm like, I don't know where the key is at. I don't know where the key is at. I don't know where the key is at. Y'all, that pissed Shorty off so bad. She grabbed me by my wig. Like, that was one of the things I'm telling you, she used to grab me by my hair all the time. But by this time, I'm wearing a wig. So it's just like, it's just some glue. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she ripped the wig off my head. So I got the silly braids right now, okay? Silly braids, right? And we on the side of the highway, y'all. We on the side of the highway. And this car zooming by us, zooming by us, zooming by us. She took my shoes. She snatched my wig. At that point, she didn't like really like lay hands on me for real, but it was just like, at this point, you might as well you're swinging me around. Like, she could have swung me into traffic if she really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm just like, I gotta get away from this girl. I gotta get away from this girl. I have to get away from this girl. And I just start walking. I don't know where the hell I'm walking to. I'm barefoot, Sealy braids. Like you could tell, like you could see the makeup difference. You could see like the difference. Like you could tell, like I had hair. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not what I looked like. My clothes is all like hanging off my body and stuff. Like y'all, I kid you not. I find a way to walk and get to like the street, like a real street. Like get off the highway and get to like the exit street or whatever. I will never forget this. It was three older black ladies, and I'm so grateful. Like one thing I can say, like even though religion is like a very tricky subject, is very sensitive, I can definitely say that God has always been there. And that's why I will always, from the rooftops, will always shout, God is great all the time. Like it may not be, the best situation at hand, but like I swear, because she could have threw me in the street where the cars was going so fast, and it was so dark outside, so nobody could really see what was going on. So it wasn't like somebody could really stop and be like, "Hey, like, what you good? Like, what's going on?" Even though I've been in situations with her where people just sat there and watched, but we gonna get there. So I walk and I make my way to a CVS. Three older black ladies pull me over and they're like, "Baby, what's going on?" Like, and I'm breaking down. I'm trying to be strong, and I'm just like, once again, I don't know if she has my phone or not. Cause like she would always do that. I think I was able to get the key and the house key, but I don't think I was able to get my phone. So they buy me some flip flops out of CVS, and they buy me a baseball cap, so I don't have to walk around with the Sealy braids. And I start walking home. Um, her name was on the lease at this particular spot, so I think she had her own key too, or key fob or whatever. So when I get there, the door is wide open. Mind you, I was a dancer. I got money in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? But thank God, like this place that we were staying at had, not security, but a concierge. So it wasn't like it was a lot of motion going on. And at this time, the building was still very new. It was very fresh. Like I was one of the first residents in there when like they were still kind of building it. And I feel like that's why I got the deal of 1,700 when I got it, because now if you try to go over there, it's like 21 and up, like 2,100 and up, right? Um, I can't remember when I get there. Like I know the door is open, but I can't remember if she's there now. So I think we were arguing a little bit. But excuse me, 9 times out of 10, when we would get into altercations and stuff, the police would get called. I wouldn't call them because she would always threaten me, like, I swear to God, if you ever call the police on me, like, you better not be no 12 calling bitch and that's that and the third and da 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 da. So like I always was scared to call the police. And it was just like when they come, she would be right there, and it would just be like, you know how someone's like looking at you like, I bitch, I wish you would. I wish you would say something. So it's just like I'm like, no, sir, I don't want to press no charges. Like, I just want her to leave. Like, I just need some space. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired of fighting. And, then he tells her to leave or whatever. So the police officer come back in and he's just like, listen, if you're tired of this, you're gonna have to remove yourself from this situation. Like, I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't know. But if I come back, I'm telling you, somebody's going to jail. And for me, I've never been arrested. I've never been to jail. I've never been in trouble with the law, nothing. So for me, it's just like, I like hearing that, it's like I'm not trying to go to jail. Like I don't want no smoke, bro. Like I'm just a girl, bro. I'm just a girl. So I start locking Shorty out. I asked if I could, like, I don't remember how I was able to get her key at one point, but I was able to get her key, and I start locking Shorty out because I tried to ask him, could I, you know, change the key fob, change the locks, and it was like, her name's on the lease, so no, we can't do that. Like, you have to have permission from both parties. And I'm just like, okay. So somehow finesse her key or whatever, or tell her like the keys getting changed or something. I don't know. And I told her like I'm gonna go get the keys fixed or whatever. So I started locking Shorty out, bro. It was one day that they called me down to the office, and they're like, Miss Bond, we need to talk to you like expeditiously right now. I'm like what happened? What did I do? And they're like, well, your roommate asked your neighbor that lives above you, could she jump off their balcony to get it to be able to get into y'all's house? I'm like, she's dead. What? No, I ain't no way. They was like, no. She asked your neighbor that lives above you if she could jump off of their balcony to be able to get inside y'all's house. And from there, they was like, we're gonna have to ask y'all, to either get it together or y'all gonna have to leave. So at this point, it's just like, I gotta try to play nice until this lease ends, because this shit is just, it's a lot of money. Okay, bro, this is a lot of money. I'm in a new car, like a high ass apartment. Like, it's just like, bro, this is a lot going on. And I just like, I'm at the point I want to just get away. I spazzed on her. Once they told me that, I spazzed on her. Thank you, boss mommy. I spazzed on her. I'm like, you got me looking crazy in front of these white people. Like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, one thing about it, like, even though a lot of times I felt like the victim, like, there were times where, like, I started talking to her crazy. Like, it was like I started having points where it's like, I can't take this shit no more. Like, I would have to talk to her like a badass kid, or like just someone who was just like kind of beneath me. It's like, well, if you're not gonna leave, I'm not gonna keep dealing with this. Like, so my mouth started getting hella spicy. So that's why, like I said, I'm not 100% innocent in any circumstance, right? So I started talking to her kind of like how her mom would talk to her, like just kind of dogging her out and stuff. And I would notice differences in her when I would do this. So that was kind of like me, in my sense, trying to take my power back. But I was dead ass wrong for doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm adding to the trauma. I'm adding to the problem. Like, at this point, like, hurt people are hurting people. But I'm talking to her crazy as fuck. Like, you got me fucked up. Like, you got to get the fuck out. Like, I'm not fucking with you no more. Like I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And hearing I'm done was always like, no, no, no. Like, don't leave me. Like, I'm not going nowhere. Like, then start love bombing and gaslighting and all that. Right. So from there, it was one night I came home and she bought new TV, and even mounted it. Went and got like a bunch of like my favorite snacks and stuff. Hey, went and bought some weed and the roll ups and all that. Like, really trying to kiss ass, right? So then after a while, things started getting back cool. Like, we starting to do well, and like these fights weren't like all the time, but eventually it started getting like more and more and more and more. Like, it was getting ridiculous, right? So fast forward, we moved to another spot over by Cumberland, and with each of these fights, every time something happened, I call my best friend like, bitch, get over here, because that's a big bitch. Okay. So if I know, like, I can only hold my own for so long with this girl, but like, if it really happened, we really got to get into it. Like, I'm gonna make sure my best friend could break it up. So a lot of times my best friend would be there and she would be like, Jay, like, you need to calm down. You're doing too much. Like, if you love this girl, you need to treat her and act like you love her, this, that, and the third. And she would bring up my discrepancies as far as like my dancing and this, that, and the third, and who I'm entertaining while I'm dancing, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, bro, it don't matter. If you don't like it, get the like beat it. Otherwise, if you're gonna stay here, treat the girl right and stop. Like, stop putting your hands on her. Like, stop doing this, right? Um, because it was even another one before we moved to Cumberland area, before we moved to over by Cumberland, the last big fight that we had, where we end up like taking like a month away from each other, was we got into a real bad altercation. It was already in the house, and she like threw me against the wall. Y'all, I had it. Like at this point, like I don't know where the strength came from, but baby, I had it that day. Okay. She busted me in my nose. And I think I still got the picture. Like, y'all, it like I keep a lot of pictures and a lot of memories. And it like I finally got to a point where it's not as hurtful. And I used to really like live in the past. And it got to a point where I really try to start like purposely making myself forget this stuff. But this is why I'm talking about it, to let it out, to really just release it and let it like really be done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like this was the same girl that I had her name tatted across my chest. And you know, just really going through it. But at this point, y'all, I had it. And I want to say like this was like a couple days after Valentine's Day. We had a great Valentine's Day. She took me to the aquarium. Um, you know, like just had a really good day. Surprised me with little stuff here and there. You know, we're all like faking love and shit. A couple days later, bro, all hell break loose, right? So like y'all, I don't know if y'all can see this, but look, we was so fake in love. These are my Google photos. Um, but yeah, it got to a point where y'all, I had it. I had it. Like she used to let me play on her face and do her makeup and stuff. So I got her in the closet and I just start like I don't know how I got her, where I got her, but like we're like literally throwing each other around and like I'm trying to pack up my stuff, and she will always like try to make me stop packing up my stuff and tell me I'm not going nowhere. And it's like, bitch, who you think you talking to? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And watch me, watch me. So she tried to stop me and I couldn't take it. Like I said, she busted my nose and it got to the point where I just had her like I punched her in the face. And so at this point she like fell and hit the ground. And then I just get on top of her and I just start whoop, 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 whoop. Like, bitch, I'm not stopping until my arms are falling off, like until I feel like a limp noodle. And after that, like she had a really bad black eye and a really bad busted lip. And we both agreed, like, we just gonna take some time. So she ended up staying with her brother. I'm trying to see if I can find the picture, y'all, because it was bad. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, I don't like it really sucks because it's like when you do have love for somebody, like, you know, I feel like she definitely loved me and I loved her, but it was just like we children, we hurt, you know, we have our own traumas and our own like stuff going on. And it's just like, you know, just being toxic and not trying to be better. So we took like a little break or whatever for a little while. Oh yeah, this is when she broke my TV. And it was just like, bitch, why would you do that? You don't pay for shit in here. Why would you do that? Um, and around this time, I met this girl. Her name was Sydney, and we became really, really close. And she would just kind of like be there for me and like help me kind of get through it and stuff. My best friend would be there too, but you know, like I would just have different people that would be there and be able to help out and stuff. And Sydney, she liked girls too. We look kind of similar to at this time. My best friend had left Cheetah and went back to dancing at Strokers, but I stayed at Cheetah because the crowd fit me. Like even though, oh y'all, I found it. Yeah, it's a Sunday, February 19th, 2020, 2017. Ooh. All right, this is a warning, graphic warning, but like it was bad, y'all. It was bad. It was bad. Um, and like I said, a few days before was Valentine's Day. Great Valentine's Day. We went to the aquarium. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool. But that broke me for a little while. Um, it was bad. And like I was at the point where I was contemplating about going home. I was contemplating about like, did I want to end my life? Like it was so many emotions, so many thoughts. Like I didn't know how to feel. At this point, I felt like I couldn't live without the girl because we were so inseparable. But at the same time, it was like I knew I had to get away. And it was just like, what if I don't make it out the next time? Like what if the next time is the last time, right? So then we take some space from each other. We end up meeting at Twin Peaks. Um, we end up meeting at Twin Peaks, and of course, she's just like, "Baby, I'm so sorry. I love you. I miss you so much. Please take me back." And I'm just like, "No, like I need space. I need time. Like I'm not ready. I can't do this. Like that shit really hurt me. Like I'm still trying to get myself together. This, that, and the third." Long story short, of course, it don't end there. We end up getting back together eventually later. Like she'll do little stuff like convince me to go on a date, and then start coming around a little bit more, and like you get back in that feeling of like being comfortable, and we're laid up, and you're rubbing on me, and it feels like good times or old times, and it's like, well, maybe she really is sorry, and get finessed right back into it. Then we moved to Cumberland area. And Cumberland area, that's like the time frame I end up meeting Mr. Sir through my ex best friend. So that in itself was a lot going on. That's a whole nother story, so we're not going to get into that. But the gist around that, um, I got so fed up with how everything just kept going and the cycles just kept repeating and kept repeating that I end up leaving that spot and moving in with Asian A. Not really moving in, but just kind of staying on her um like staying on her couch for a little bit for like a good couple weeks to the point where it was like, okay, I gotta figure this out. So I don't know what club I'm working at this time. Like, at this time, like I might have been at Magic City. I don't know, y'all. I don't know where I was at. I might have been at Follies, probably Follies. I don't know. But it's just like I gotta figure this out. And it got to the point where I'm at my homegirl Asia's house, and I'm entertaining Mr. Sir, but not to that level. Like he would come over, and y'all know the story. We would be sitting in the car talking to the sun would come up, and just connecting, talking, whatever, smoking, whatever. Um, but to be honest, he was kind of the one that pushed me into like thinking about getting another spot and like just moving everything out, and just kind of like forcing her to get out because it was like I wanted her to leave, but she would not leave the spot. So it was just like I cannot keep doing this, bro. Like I cannot keep fighting with you. And every time the fights will get worse and worse. So it got to the point where I end up buying a new spot. I moved everything out, and I was like, if you're gonna stay here, stay here. And I end up paying two rents because it was like I had one of the other rents. It was like I might as well just keep paying the one in Cumberland because it was like maybe 2 more months before the lease was up. So it was just like, you know, either you're gonna have to keep dealing with this girl or you're gonna have to get gone. So I'm just like, I don't want to have to break the lease when I only got 2, 3 months left. I might as well just keep paying it. So I'm paying two rents at this point. Pay movers to move everything out. Of course, when everything is gone, then Shorty wants to leave. Um, at this point, this is when I start getting like my independence for real and like really just trying to get on my feet and stuff. I moved all the way out to Dunwoody. I got as far as I possibly could get. Because Shorty didn't have no car. So it's like, if you're in close proximity, you can find someone to drop you off. But when it's like you gotta kind of go out your way, it's hard to catch a ride for real. And then you don't got money for real. So it's not like you really paying people unless people just want to do a favor for you. Um so yeah. And at this time, this is when we completely take like a real legit like break, like a good year break. And of course, that's when what I'm saying, like I moved into a whole spot by myself. So now at this point, Mr. Sir is over there. And I'm not gonna get too much into that because I'm not trying to rattle no feathers. I'm not trying to start up no, past dramas and teas and all that. Like, so we just gonna leave it at that. We already know the context of that. Um, so then my ex started trying to come back around. And at this point, I'm trying to remove myself from the situation with Mr. Sir. Um, and as I'm doing that, Mr. Sir is showing his behind, right? So that really just kind of made me feel like I'm cool on you, like for real, I'm cool on you, like bro, don't even worry about it, I'm cool on you, right? So I'm like, well, maybe the girl has changed, like let's see or whatever. Like it was just like it's like I couldn't leave the girl alone. Like we left each other alone, but it was just like we would still kind of chit chat a little bit here and there. She would check in on me a little bit here and there. So I'm like, well, maybe she's changed. At this point, I think she had her own apartment at this point. So it's like, okay, well, you have your own apartment. You're doing better for yourself. You're still taking Ubers and stuff, but at least you have your own spot. But her daddy would really step in and do a lot of stuff for her. So that's that. But either way it go, you got to give your cookies where they do. You have your own spot because a lot of people don't have their own spot, right? So we start getting back in contact and communication. And at this point, she's trying to basically suggest we should get back together. And my dumb ass goes for it. So I think it was like this one Valentine's Day. It's always Valentine's Day. It was this one Valentine's Day. Like she convinced me to come over. We go get sushi and stuff. And we're talking about like possibly getting back together, like, really just making it back official and stuff and how much, we miss each other and blah, blah, blah. Just getting back on one accord and talking or whatever. So long story short, obviously I get back with the girl. And at this point, I didn't I don't think I knew I was pregnant yet, right? So we find out together that I'm pregnant. I'm like, I'll be honest with you, like you trying to come back in the picture, like she told me what she was doing on her break. I told her what I was doing on my break. That yeah, I was dealing with somebody. I wouldn't really disclose who it was because she did meet Mr. Sir. So like he came to our house before, um, when he came to come hang out with me and my ex best friend or whatever. Like so she knew his face. She knew who he was, but like didn't really know him, but knew of him. Like she seen when we were up on the rooftop and we was all just kicking or whatever, and it was just like the fuck is going on? And it's just like, oh, we just chilling, babe. We just chilling, relax. So she don't know who, but she just know like, I've had my dealings for sure. She told me that she, try to branch off and mingle and intertwine with a nigga to see how she feel about it. And she was just like, it's not really for her. Like she liked the aspect of it, like because she was the type of lesbian where like she didn't mind toys and other stuff like that. For me, I didn't really care for toys. Like I just felt like my experiences when it came down to toys and using straps and stuff like that, I wasn't crazy about it. Like she would, use her fingers from time to time, and we would find creative ways to do certain things, figure it out, right? So she knew to that extent. So it's just like, listen, like, you trying to come back around, but my period hasn't came yet. And I'm starting to get nervous. So she was like, well, I'm here for you, and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. So we go get a test, take a test. Baby, that bitch came back immediately. Pregnant as fuck. So then it comes down to the conversation like, okay, so what we finna do? Because she don't know this my second time being pregnant. At least not at this time. I don't think she knew that this was my second time being pregnant. So in my head, I'm already like, I made a promise with God. If I get pregnant again, I'm having this baby. Whatever the consequences come with it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to. Like, I can't go through that again. Like, I don't know, no shade, no tea to girls who are able to do that. But for me, I was already a lost cause that, like, stuff like that to me was just messing me up more, right? So in my head, I'm already like, I'm keeping the baby, but I haven't really said nothing to nobody or whatever. So like I'm, trying to really put all my pieces together. But in my head, like I just knew like I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm keeping this baby. Like if God himself say you're not having this baby, okay, cool, then that's a different story. But it is what it is. So um it got to the point where she was just like, basically, she gonna play that part. She gonna step in. Like she was like, well, we always talked about a family, so maybe this is our time to have our family. I didn't want it like this, but like maybe it's just a blessing in disguise. So I'm just like, well, shit, maybe. Like if you're really ready, cool. If not, I understand. Like she's still younger than me, and like you might not want to take care of somebody else, baby. You know what I'm saying? But in my head, I had already wrote Mr. Sir off anyways because we both at this point had written each other off. Um, and when I did tell him about, me being pregnant, like y'all know the story. If you know, you know. If not, then y'all, figure it out. um, like I said, I'm not trying to stir up no messiness right now. Um, so it was just like, okay, what we finna do? And she was like, I'm gonna be there. Okay, cool. And I don't know why I agreed to that, y'all. I really do not know why I agreed to that, but I think I was feeling lonely. I wanted somebody there. I wanted somebody I was comfortable with. My body was already like, it's like the moment you see on that stick it say pregnant as fuck. It's like your brain and your body just all of a sudden clicking. It's just like, damn, I'm starting to feel hot. Oh, damn, this is starting to. Oh, my back hurt. Oh, I don't feel too good. My stomach hurt. Oh, I feel nauseous. Like it's just like all of a sudden the switch it switches, right? So from there, at first she's playing her part. I think my lease is about to end, so it's just like, okay, well, what you about to do with your lease? I mean, what you about to do with your apartment? You gonna renew it? Like, what you gonna do? And she's like trying to convince me to move in with her. So I'm like, I don't know. So like, we try out where it's like I stay with you for a little bit, like, but I still have my spot. Um, because one thing about me, baby, I'm never not gonna have a spot. Okay, I've learned my lesson too many times with just too many people and people around me. I don't play them type of games. But it's just like I want to be babied. Like I'm one of them people when I'm sick, I want to be babied. And being pregnant definitely gave me that like I'm sick. Like I want to be babied. I want to be loved on and kissed on and rubbed on and feel important. And especially when I just, I'm pregnant by this man who is acting X, Y, and you know what I'm saying? Like you not helping. I'm arguing with you, I'm arguing with her. Like so at this point, Jay is the safe spot. So the beginning of my pregnancy, y'all, I had morning sickness so bad. Okay, I couldn't even eat an orange without throwing up. I had to eat really bland like toast, um, and keep it real simple. Like even sipping on water, like if I sipped on water too hard, it make me very nauseous. And it got to the point where I ended up started losing a lot of weight. I went from being like 120 pounds to start dropping down to like 116. Like I started like looking small. And it started giving me bad back acne. My face was breaking out a little bit. Like it was just a lot. And at this point, when I found out I was pregnant, I already had made the transition to stop dancing, and I was trying to pursue hair and wigs. So I started working with this girl who she was a dancer, but she's like a real OG, and she opened up a wig shop off of Donald Lee Holloway, and it was called, what was it called? I don't know. It don't matter. It was a wig shop, House of Lace. That's what it was called. I just want to make sure, like, I'm giving context and stuff, and just like references and stuff. Um, but yeah, it was called House of Lace. So I was there, like, it was just me and her in the shop. So every time someone came in, we would take turns. Not, but most times she would just let me have them, and then I started building my own little kind of like little clientele a little bit. And it was cool for a little bit, but standing on your feet, freshly pregnant, and you can't keep no food down, and you stand on your feet for hours, baby, it just, I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't, I don't know. By the time I got to the doctor, I found out I was pretty much already 2 months in. Like, I'm like, so it was another reason why I was just like, I'm having this baby, because it's just like, I'm at the point where the baby been baking for real. Like, I'm 2 months in. So, um, at this point though, I did meet some guy friends and stuff. And they were very helpful. Like when they found I was pregnant with whatever, like, just checking on me and stuff. So it wasn't like too much going on. Like I was chilling. The only person she had a problem with was the male best friend from high school that would check in on me from time to time while I was pregnant. And she just felt like the way that we were talking to each other, she just felt like it was too flirtatious and stuff. So we would have little arguments and stuff about that. But y'all, when I was about 2 to 3 months pregnant, I went to a dinner. I'm trying to remember. That's what I was scrolling for. I'm trying to remember whose dinner it was. But I go to a dinner for one of my homegirls, and Jay is drinking hella. For what I know at this time, like, all the drug use and stuff had been like more on the chill side. She said she wasn't drinking. I mean, she wasn't partaking like that. But as far as drinking wise, like she still was, drinking. So, me, I can't drink. I'm irritated. I feel big as hell. Like, like I just felt uncomfortable. Even though I'm only 2 months, but like because I was losing weight, like I was showing pretty early. Like even the lady who the not the lady, the girl who I was working for at the wig shop, she was like, she told me before anybody, like, girl, you're gonna have a boy. I could tell, like the way he's sitting, as low as he's sitting, the way your hips is sitting out, you're gonna have a boy. I'm like, really, you think so? Like girls running my family, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have a girl. Like, like, no, you're gonna have a boy. So she was the first one to call it. Anyways, I go to a birthday dinner. The girl's drinking. And like I said, she's an Aries, so fire spirit, like just real, big personality, mingling and stuff, talking, loud, laughing. And she was one of those type of girls also, was like she felt like my friends were her friends. Like she felt like my friends were her friends. And a lot of times I would get into it with her about that, because it's like they're not your friends, because your friends are not my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't call your people up. Like you getting too friendly. Like relax, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. So she just talking loud, drinking, time of her life. Okay, cool. Y'all, when we get back to the house, and this was we went back to my house, the one that was in Dunwoody, right? And we get into it. But even I think it was even in the car, we kind of getting into it. And it was just, I can't even remember what we was getting into it about, but we was getting into it. And once we got in the house, it was just like a lot. So we arguing. I don't even know if she really got inside the house or not. I can't remember. I just know the part that I do remember, because like a lot of it, I feel like I blacked out. Like I felt like I was fighting for my life, y'all. I kid you not. She had this one guy friend that she swore was like, I was questioning their relationship because I felt like the way y'all talk and stuff, you constantly trying to check me about me and the guy friend that I'm talking to or whatever. They check on me, but I feel like y'all relationship is weird. When you say jump, he say how high every single time. And you praise him about how he's such a Christian man and you want to go to his church and this, that, and the third. He's a really good guy. You went to high school with him and he's a really good friend and he just listens and blah, 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 blah. So when we get into it, I guess she called him and I can't remember. I think his name was like Nate or something. So we gonna call him in. She called him over and hold on, y'all. I just wanted to show y'all, like, as I'm going. Like, this is when I was like really trying to do hair. This is my sister Jaden, and I had went home to Chicago for my baby sister's graduation. This is my baby sister. I did her wig. Um, just working in a wig shop, like I said. But yeah, so she called him and was like, "Come get me," blah 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 blah. So the nigga pull up, but y'all, we get into it so bad. This bitch drug me. Like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like begging for someone to call the police. Like I'm screaming help. And the man is literally sitting there just watching it. She throws my house key and my car keys. Like I had like like a set of both of them. She throws both sets across the garage. So now I'm being drugged through the garage by my hair. I'm 2 months pregnant. So she's not like physically like putting her hands on me, but she's putting hands on me, right? Dragging me through the garage. And it's like, bitch, why haven't you learned your lesson? Why haven't you learned your lesson? So from there, like I said, dude just sitting there. I'm screaming help. I'm screaming help. There's an officer that lives in the building. He ends up coming out after the fact. And he's like, what's going on? And of course, by this time, she got the gone. And I'm just like, bro, like, this can't be my life. Like, why do I keep choosing this path? Like, this cannot be it. And at this point, I'm blaming myself. Like, I am totally, fully taking responsibility and blaming myself. Like, bro, you knew who this person was, and you thought it was gonna change because you're pregnant. Like, in my head, for some reason, I kept thinking, like, as a woman to a woman, I would never, as a woman to a woman, as a woman to a woman. But in multiple cases, in most times, women don't show up for women and other times women do show up for women. You know what I'm saying? Like it all depends on the circumstances, but there are cases where women don't show up for women, right? And not everybody's gonna be a girl's girl. And it's just like, and a lot of times, even Bump being a woman, but I feel like because as a woman to a woman, like as a woman to a woman, but Bump being a woman as a person to a person, I just wouldn't handle nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm in your situation or not. And I know a lot of times where people will handle you a certain kind of way because they don't feel how you feel in that moment, even though they might have felt how you felt before. But the moment someone doesn't feel like how you feel anymore, it's like it goes over their head. Like, girl, you'll be fine. It ain't nothing. Like, and it's just like, what? So, y'all, excuse me, drug my ass through the garage, threw my keys all over the place. I'm on hands and knees searching for these keys. I'm trying to figure out how to get back in my house. Like it's just so much going on, y'all. So much going on. Um, she leaves. She come back like a few days later, all apologetic and stuff. Um, At this point, I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me. I don't want to see you. Do like I don't give up what you have to say. I don't care. I do not care. And this was the point where like I felt like nothing, right? Or felt like nothing again, right? I locked myself in my house. I don't turn on the lights for like a good week. I don't even know if I bathed for a week. I didn't care. I felt so broken, y'all. I felt so broken. And like I was less than, and I felt like nothing. Like not even dirt, less than dirt, right? And I already, like I told y'all, I would fight with depression and just like having suicidal thoughts and just like, so that for the people who know from the time frame when I did the live, when I called out Miss Ma'am, and she spoke about how I was depressed because Mr. Sir didn't want me or my child. No, that the story I just told you about being drugged in the parking garage while her friend watched, that was the reason why I was depressed. That was the reason why I went in a dark hole. That was the reason why I was suicidal. Okay. And that is why when she had the nerve to speak on that, it was like, how dare you? But like I said, we're not gonna get into that. Um, it got to the point where my friends had like a search, like they created their own little search party within themselves, and like, cause I was texting my sister some crazy stuff. Like I'm like, bro, I can't do this no more. Like at this point, everybody know I'm pregnant. Like I said, I'm 2 months pregnant. Everybody know I'm pregnant. Um, everybody in my family, my dad, everybody, like, but I'm texting my sister, like, bro, I cannot do this no more. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm ready to just be done with it. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't want to feel this shit no more. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm done. So at this time, my sisters are still living in Bloomington with my mama and my daddy. And they got their own problems in their house or whatever. My parents were split in. Like, it was just a lot for everybody, for everything. And it's in an awkward space right now because my daddy has a girlfriend. My mama had a boyfriend, but like I said, another story, another time, right? So my sisters jump in a car and they are making their way down to Atlanta. Jay is constantly hitting my phone up from different text now numbers like, baby, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. I will never do that again. Da, da, da. And it's just like, girl, like, I don't want to talk to you. Stop talking to me. At this point, I ain't gonna hold you. I start texting Nate in whatever we gonna call him. I started texting him from text free numbers like, I'm gonna get you. Don't you? I got something for you. I promise you. I'm gonna find somebody, and I know where you stay at. Don't ain't your mama name this thing. Like I'm looking up on Facebook. Like I'm looking up all like baby. The psycho in me start going like Scorpio psycho whatever. I start like at this point I want that I'm done. Like I'm done. Like I'm going through all this. I'm mad. I'm sad. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. But I'm at the point where I'm literally like, I cannot do this no more. So I shut down completely. Like I turn my phone off. I turn my iMessages off. So people think my phone is really off for real. Cause like I'm turning it on and off, but I'll like literally just turn the phone off, like power it down. So messages can't get through. I don't want to answer no phone calls. It got to a point though where I seen people trying to flash their light through my I lived on the first floor when I lived in Dunwoody. I lived on the first floor and people I could see people with flashlights trying to look through the window because it was dark, but I would watch TV from time to time when I would get like super bored and I used to watch what's that show called? Once Upon a Time. That was like my escape. And yeah, I seen someone trying to flash their light through the window, so I turn the TV off and I'm just sitting there quiet. I'm like, I don't want people to think that I exist. At this point, believe I fell off the face of the earth. Please believe that. Like, please believe that, right? Um, but of course, God said it's not time. My sisters made it down to me and they helped me like bring me back to health and mentally together and like just help pick me up and pick the pieces up with me and like really just spend some time with me and just help me get back mentally together, right? And just remind me like you're pregnant, you're carrying this little one, like please, like it's gonna be okay. So finally started getting to a point where I could start talking to people. And I think at this point, this was when Octavia comes in, because I met her before I stopped dancing. I met her at a club that we worked at together, and we both were there very briefly. But we both kind of connected because we both were kind of like in that spirit of like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't really want this lifestyle anymore. I don't really care to keep dancing and having to walk up on people. I don't do good with rejection. I don't do well with people telling me no. When I do walk up on people, they act like they see a ghost, or they just act like if you're not, down to whoop the whoop, then like you ain't getting no money. And it's just like I don't care to be effing on y'all. I really don't. And at the same time, like I said, like I had body, but I never, like, it just like when you be compared to like these BBL bandits and like girls who are like hella just naturally thick, it's like it ain't no competition for real, baby. Move out the way. So it was just like, it got to a point where I was starting to kind of talk to people again. And at this point, I think Octavia had reached out, and I was like, I kind of just told her, like, this is what I'm going through and stuff. And that's when she kind of like really just stepped in. It was just very helpful and just kind of helped me stay busy mentally and stuff. And yes, Jay would still be around, but she would just kind of tell me, like, you can do better. Like, you don't need her. Like, you don't have to be that. Like, and it was just like, it was hard because, like I said, for me, I felt like I could not live without this girl. And eventually, long story short, y'all, me and Jay end up moving back in together. Like, the time passes, whatever, and I forgive her once again, like a dummy. And at this point, we moved back in together. We moved back to Stone Mountain. We got a 2 bedroom, 2 bath for like $1,100. And my sister is staying with us at this point too. Like, she convinced me, like, listen, like, I'm moving down to Atlanta. Like, I'm gonna be here with you. I'm gonna help you with this baby. Like, we finna get it. We gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. I got you. We gonna figure it out. My other sister, I think she had to finish school, so she had to go back home. And like, cause my sister, she was doing cosmetology school and stuff, and she cuts hair and all that good stuff. So I understand. Like, that's my baby sister. Like, I appreciate you for even coming down here. Cool. So we find a place. Like, I'm talking to my mom. Like, my mom knows a lot of stuff, whatever, but some stuff I held from her, but a lot of stuff, like, she just would try to tell me, like, whenever you're done, whenever you're really done with that, you'll know when you're done. But I'm still hollering, like, I hate niggas. Like, I never want to talk to niggas. Like, that was my focus. Like, and and I just felt like I could not live without this girl. And it got to the point where my mom helped us figure out like where we could move to. We applied for it, got it. The agreement was that we would pay half and half, and like my sister would help out with stuff here and there, like she would get a job. So it ended up being where it was just like with my sister in her past, like once she gets tired of a job, like she would just kind of like just call quits, right? And it would be frustrating. And then like with me, I couldn't really work like that. I was doing like Instacart, but with Instacart and the bigger I'm getting, like I'm getting frustrated. My mouth is ridiculous. I'm cussing people out. They cussing me out. Like with Instacart, if you know, like you on a time schedule and stuff, like it would be like I would be late for work for certain times if you get a certain amount of strikes and you're fired. Um, it would be times where I would be so nauseous and I'm throwing up, and it was just like, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Give me another strike. I don't care. I don't even want to work no more. Honestly, I don't want to do this. And it got to the point where I got fired, and um, Jay was just like, well, we'll figure it out. So my grandma, bless her heart, would send me money to help put up for my part of bills. That my grandma, my aunt, my grandpa, everybody would send a bunch of baby clothes and like and just whatever they felt like I might possibly need. Like I didn't need a baby shower because they showed out. And this was the first like great grandbaby. So like, it was just like it was a big deal. And to come to find out that it's a boy. Um But like I'm slipping on my part of the rent and stuff, and it's just like now she's fussing at me like, I can't pay these bills by myself, and it's like it's funny how the tables turn. But bitch, what the you want me to do about it? I'm big. I'm pregnant. Like, what you want me to do about it? Like, and she was working for Amazon at the time, and like doing as much as overtime as she could do. But it's just like, girl, I took care of your ungrateful ass for years. The least you could do. The least you could do. And not to even mention that I'm big as hell. She still don't have no car. And like I am getting up, like when she gets up for work, I have to get up with her and drive her all the way to West Bumble to drop her off at work. And then when she's ready after her 10-hour shift to go pick her up. And there would be times where she would finesse me to just come join the ride with her. And, oh, I want to show you these houses. It's so nice. I'll be driving out by the countryside and blah, blah, blah. Girl, them Amazon trucks and them box trucks and stuff where you gotta sit up, like how you gotta really just like sit up. When you're pregnant and you're big, and especially when you're carrying low, that shit do not feel good, and you gotta pee all the time. Like it was just so uncomfortable. And she would have her ways where like when she would be affectionate and loving, like it felt so good to be loved by this girl, y'all. Like it was just like I loved it. I did. Like that's really what would keep me. And I dealt with this my whole pregnancy, y'all, even up until when it was time for me to give birth. Normally, like by this time, me and Mr. Sir were cordial enough to be having conversations. He would come and see me and ask to rub on my belly and stuff. But I know it was him trying to gauge the temperature and trying to see like where we stand and like how I'm gonna act when I have the baby and all that. I asked this man, it's getting close to time. I need to know what we're doing. Are you or are you not going to be present at the birth? Thank you guys. Thank you. um, his exact words to me was, I can't be there because people from YouTube are going to know who I am. Everybody from YouTube that works there know who I am and blah, 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 blah. So you're X'd out. Cool. When it came down to my ex and my sister, like it was just like I knew my sister was there at like my due date was probably like a few weeks away. My mom was supposed to be coming down, and it was just kind of like we had it planned out. Like my mom would be coming down a few days before I'm supposed to be giving birth, so it's just like it should be moving smoothly. Baby, that baby was ready to come. The week before I actually gave birth, I was having Braxton Hicks contractions every hour on the hour. It was waking me out my sleep every day for a week straight. And they just kept telling me, baby, it's nothing we could do about it. I'm taking lukewarm baths to try to just calm the contractions down. Some of them were worse than others. But it was like how they yell in the movies when they're like screaming like, I understand, y'all. That is nothing to play with. Like my contractions were so, 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 so bad. So after a while, I'm just like, I'm super irritated. It's just like, get this baby out of me. Like, I can't do this no more. So the day before I give birth, I go to the doctor, the hospital, and I'm like, the contractions are every hour of the hour. Like, at this point, is the baby not coming or not? Like, is he coming or not? And they're like, well, you're not dilated enough. You're going to have to go back home. They discharge me. They give me some medicine and stuff. Let me take a nap for a couple hours, and then they discharge me or whatever. Later that night, about 8 o'clock that night, I get discharged and I go home. And Jay goes out to go party with friends. My sister is at her boo's house. But at this time, I don't have a phone. Like the money I have, I'm trying to contribute and stretch as much as I can, as far as I can, when I can. So I'm paying my part of the rent. I'm trying to keep up with my car note. I feel like at this point, I don't talk to nobody anyways for real. So I don't really need a phone. Like the only time I really use my phone is when I'm at the house and I have Wi-Fi when I'm there. But at this particular time, the Wi-Fi is out. My phone is off. So it's like about 10 o'clock, the contractions start hiking back up again. Y'all, these contractions was whooping my ass. Okay, they was on my body. It's to the point like my body is uncontrollably shaking. I'm on the toilet. Like I feel like I have to pee. I feel like I have to shit. It's just so much going on. My body is hot and cold. I can't. I don't know what to do with myself. My body, like I'm just like my body is literally just shaking. Like I can't stop. And it's not like shivering. Like it's just like the all the pressure from the contraction. Like my body could not take it. Like it was just like my body was just like vibrating. I'm trying to remember, like I've been prepping myself. I've been trying to stay calm. I've been reading stuff like articles and stuff. I've been watching videos. I'm like, okay, just whatever you do, just the more calmer you are, the less it'll be. Like I'm trying. At this point, like I'm panicking because it's like it feels like the baby's coming. They told me to start, timing the attractions when the attractions start getting less from an hour, then they start coming like every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes. That's when I need to be on my way to the hospital. So at this point the contractions are like every 3 minutes, like every 3 to 5 minutes. And I can't get in contact with nobody. Like, finally, I'm able to like find some type of like, like how some like how apartments are set up, like you can connect to people's Wi-Fi, like if they have an open like a hotspot or whatever. Somehow, some way, God, I'm telling you, God. Some way, somehow, I'm able to call my sister. Like I keep trying to call these people. I'm trying to call Jay. I'm trying to call my sister. I'm calling. I finally get in touch with my sister. I'm like, bro, I think the baby's coming. Like I've been having contractions. Like at this point, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm like damn near about to pass out. I'm about to pass out from all like just the stress, the pressure, everything. Like my body can't take it. Like I'm in so much pain, y'all. I'm about to pass out. My sister finally come and like she's trying to get a hold of Jay. We finally get a hold of her. They're rushing me to the hospital at this point. We'll get into a labor story another time. But Jay is there for the whole birth with my sister. My sister's on the phone with my mom. They're screen recording and stuff. Just because it's just like what like everything just kind of happened so fast. Um, but long story short, after all of that is said and done, y'all, my baby is probably Papa is probably like what, like 2 months? He's probably like 2 months. And this was my last straw. This was when I finally was like, I've had it. No, I did not go natural. I had an epidural. When they gave me the option to take the epidural, I know that window is very small and very slim, and I was so in and out of sleep because I was so like out of it. Give me that epidural. Stop playing with me. Put it in my bag now. But yeah, we'll talk about the labor video another time, right? My baby's 2 months. All the shit I went through with this girl. I get a message from this girl. And she was like, congratulations. I heard you just had a baby not too long ago. But I'm sorry to tell you that your girlfriend has been cheating on you your whole pregnancy with my ex-girlfriend, and I thought you should know. And y'all, even while I was pregnant, she used to have me drop her off at some friend house, some girl house or whatever, and say that's her friend and da 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 da. And I'm not thinking nothing of it. So you mean to tell me that not only you were pregnant, like while I was pregnant, my like the whole pregnancy you've been cheating on me? Y'all, I just blinked and I seen red. Like I gotta like woosah. But not only were you cheating on me, but you had me drop you off at the bitch house. Yeah. Not once, not twice. Like it was a lot. Um, I can't remember if I confronted her or like we got into it about something. But y'all, like any mommies know, like at this time when your baby's about 2 months, like postpartum's about to start kicking in. Baby blues could possibly start kicking in. You're tired as hell. Like, the sleeping arrangements, the baby sleeps a lot, but at the same time, like Papa wasn't a hard baby, but it would be those nights where he would just fight his sleep and he would cry a lot. And I don't know if it was it colic or something like that, but it was just like there was times where he would be really, really constipated as well. Like I would have to like, shut like squirt the little stuff up there to like force it to come out. Like it's just I'm tired. Okay. At this point, I'm tired. All right. You want to argue with me about Mr. Sir and when he can and cannot see his child and how we're gonna co-parent, like basically like a Miss Ma'am, but like you kind of like far ball game because at the very least, Miss Ma'am has children with this man also. So that's the only difference. But how the you gonna try to regulate how somebody co-parents their child when you didn't lay down with them? Make it make sense. So we will argue about that. We will argue about when he would see the baby and stuff. Because for one, he didn't even see the baby until a week after I got out the hospital. But like I said, that's a whole nother time. That's a whole nother time. So, but we're arguing about this man and all this other stuff, whatever. So at this point, I finally I broke. Y'all, she bucked at me while I'm holding 2 month old August in my arms. And my sister was ready to mollywop her. And I told my sister, don't worry about it. I said, this is my fight. Hold the baby. That was my last straw. I kicked that hoe out. And I made it very clear if you don't come back with the police to come get your shit, you're not coming back in here. So she came back with the police to get her stuff, try to have a conversation with me, talking about how she's moving to Miami. Come to find out she moved to Miami with the girl. But like it was just like y'all, when she finally left Atlanta, packed up her stuff, whatever, and finally got the hell on, y'all. Like that was the first time I really felt like I could breathe. Like I was so broken, y'all. That's what made me start my affirmations. That's what made me like I had to, because I would like the everything I was feeling my hormone, and then it's just like I can see everything flashing before my eyes, like everything I've been through with this girl, everything, every time I took your sorry ass back, every time I forgave you, every time I was there for you, and you did me like this, and try to say like, well, like you stepped out on me and you're pregnant by a whole nother part. Like, bitch, you agreed to playing this part with me. Like, what are you talking? Are you slow? Are you okay? Yeah, I was so broken. I was so broken. So, 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 so broken. And then have to deal with that and still argue with Mr. Sir and Miss Ma'am. Y'all, God. All I can say is God. Okay? God. And then to come to find out, like, like we got into it about the whole, because that was another thing, like when she had the private meeting with Miss Ma'am and was telling her information that had nothing to do with nothing, and you're not even telling straight, like you're not even telling the truth about shit. Like you're fabricating and making shit up because you're hurt and you want to make it look as bad as you possibly can to this girl to make it feel like y'all got one up on me because I wouldn't tell you who Mr. Sir was. Like it was just so much, y'all. It was so much. Every time I forgave you and came back and really just let you be back in my space and grace you with my presence, this is what you do, y'all. After that, that definitely put like a really bad taste on my mouth when it comes down to just dating the same sex. Like it's just all the fighting. Like it's one thing to bicker back and forth and stuff, but it's like the literal physical altercations, and like it's like we really two, like we it's like two girls fighting in the street. Like it's like we wasn't just laying in the bed together. And it's like it's worse than a sister fight. I just told myself like I never want to do that again to myself. And then So for me, it was just like, I'm not going to get that deep or that serious with women again. And from there, when she left with Shorty down to Miami, the girl who hit me up about letting me know that my ex and her ex, the ex that she went to Miami with, were, basically together, then me and her start kind of talking or whatever. But that's the same Shorty who left me in Miami when I got my titties done. So it's just like, what I'm saying? Like, it's just constant. I can't, like, when you, I'm like, where is like the real woman support? Like, I'm just confused as a woman to a woman. Like, it just got to the point where it's like, I'm being dogged out like a nick. You're like, at this point, I might as well go be with a nigga. Like, y'all. And then my last, very, very last straw as far as women goes, y'all, was like, how I told you I just went on a date. Not just, but I went on a date recently, like when I was coming back on YouTube a little bit, and I did that Get Ready With Me, and I had the ginger hair, right? Go on a date with the girl, everything's cool. That same girl, y'all, like she kind of finessed the situation where it was just like I wasn't trying to like get busy, but like I don't want to say she forced it, but like it just got to the point where it's like I'm so tired of just like trying to fight it all. Like, just at this point, whatever, whatever. At least it's not a nigga. Like, but I hate to say it, but it's just like I'm just like it got to the point. I just feel like girls are not really for girls, or at least not the girls that I've dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like I don't know what it is, and I just feel like maybe they just not for me. Like, as much as I'm attracted to them, as much as I would love, and I love how it feels to be loved by a woman, because a lot of people ask me my preference. And I don't really want to say like I have a preference, but all I can tell people is that being loved by a man and being loved by a woman is two different feelings. They're two completely different feelings. And it was just like I can't do this shit no more, y'all. I can't do this shit. Like, for all the girlies who have healthy, happy, lesbian relationships, more power to y'all. Cause I can't. I can't. Like, it's so draining. It's so draining. And I've dealt with some shit with, with a couple of niggas, but that draining. And even after all that, even after the girl moved to Miami with Shorty, she still was on my line, of course. Still, like, I can't get you out my head. I'm always thinking about you. Shorty even got into an altercation behind me because when I got down to Miami with my homegirls, me and my homegirls, we go to Miami. I was like, that's the backyard, right? So we in Miami one time, and this is after I had the baby, and it's been some time. It's been some time. Pop was probably like a year old or something like this, right? By this time. So I'm in Miami, and Jay ends up getting her ass beat by her girlfriend, the girl that she moved down to Miami with, because it's like, be for real. She ends up getting her ass beat, y'all, because she told the girl that she was with her homegirls from Atlanta and their cousins or whatever, but she was really at the Airbnb with me and my homegirls. And she wanted to be with me and my homegirls. Like, to her, that felt like home, because it's like I said, she always felt like my friends were her friends. And, for the most part, people, we will always welcome, Jay. Like, everybody knew, like, she's annoying as hell. She not gonna go nowhere. Like, she gonna always follow me around like a pet. Like, it is what it is. Like, at this point, like, it's just, they knew that's what came with me. Yeah, she got her ass beat to the point, like, the girlfriend was like circling around the car. Like, I can't remember the story exactly. I just remember we was in Miami. We all went to go eat. Then we trying to find like something to do. And at this point, like, it's still kind of like COVID-y. So it's like curfew and stuff in Miami still. And she's like, my ex is like, yeah, we got this one little hookah spot that we be going to. But it's like one of those, like, you gotta know if you know. And like I'm cool with the owners and da. So I'm gonna call up there and make sure because like that's the spot that me and my girl be going to. But I'm gonna call up there first, make sure da. Y'all, why the whole time she called that man to like make sure the green light was a green light, the girlfriend is there already. And she hears the whole conversation, like how she's trying to put together the play of like, we finna come up there. So when we pull up, I'm the last one to get out the car, but before I can even get out the car, Shorty is circling around the car. So all my homegirls was like, Lee, don't even get out the car. Like, I don't know what she think this is, but she finna get jumped. Like, if she think this what it is, she finna get jumped. So I'm just sitting in the car like, okay. Y'all. I guess they had their little conversation or whatever. We go upstairs to the little hookah spot, or whatever. We trying to smoke hookah and vibe or whatever. The girlfriend ends up calling her people, whatever, and tries to jump my ex. And one of my homegirls, Sunny, she always TTG. She ready. So Sunny jump in, like it's to the point where everybody's pretty much fighting. Like I'm all the way in the back because they always try to make sure like I'm in the back, and so it's like I'm at the top of the stairs, so I'm trying to run down the steps, and I just see them going like, one of the people like Jay, she ends up picking up one of the girls and like body slams her, and to like the window with the window cracks and stuff. But they're like essentially like jumping Jay, and like my homegirls like end up trying to jump in to help the girl. It was like, well, you did come with us, y'all. This the girl face when everything was said and done. That's my homegirl keep in the background, like trying not to laugh. After that, she was with us like pretty much the rest of the trip with that fat ass black eye. We at the beach and our homeboys and our friends are like, "What's up with her? Like, what's like the hell y'all got going on?" And it's just like, man, listen, when you want to talk about it, it's been some crazy times, y'all. Like, y'all listen, and it was probably like one time like since then, like a little bit after that, where like she came to Atlanta and like tried to like meet up and stuff, and we did meet up a little bit, and she was trying to be all friendly with August and stuff, and just like don't get too comfortable. But after that, like it just got to the point where it's like every time I go to Miami, like she'll try to hit me up, and I finally got to the point where I just completely blocked her, and I finally like really was able to heal, because it really took a lot for me to do my affirmations every morning, and it's just like you have to want better at some point, no matter how much you feel like you're like a magnet to spring. Like I don't know what type of like soul tie I had to this girl, but it was to the point where it was just like I have to let that part of my past go. I got to stop living in the past, and that's when it got to the point of like, because like I was hurt when I found out she covered up my name on her neck and stuff. She went and got some ugly ass feather tattoo on her neck because she used to have Ashley Page, and I had her first and her middle name. But I took my time to do my career because I didn't want nothing ugly, and I didn't want to just slap it, and I wanted to like really be done with the situation. And like I think I was on live on Instagram where I was kind of like boosting about like, yeah, I'm finally finna go get my tattoo. I'm finna get my cover up finally get to like end this chapter with this girl. And she's on the live, like watching from a distance, like, damn, that's how you feel. Yes, bitch, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. And it is. And excuse me, shortly after that, like that was pretty much like we was cordial enough to like, like little stuff, like she'll say little stuff here and there, and I'll just be like, oh, hey, what's up, da, da, da. But we wouldn't really like get too friendly. But yeah, and once I covered up my tattoo, like I finally like really blocked on everything on Instagram, everything. Like you don't need to keep up with me at all. You don't need to watch me. You don't need to search my page. You don't need to figure out what I got going on, who I'm talking to now, how August is doing. Like you don't need to know shit about me. Like just use your imagination, love. Okay. And yeah, my tattoo, like at the end of my tattoo, that last wipe he did, I just started bawling, like, and I just felt free. I felt like I finally closed that chapter of all the pain and hurt, like just like constantly having to see her name across my chest during my healing process. Like it was just like I wanted it to go so bad, but I wanted to be strategic. I'm very strategic about all my tattoos and like placements and stuff. Like when I did that shit, I was so blind and I thought I was in love. Like I really thought I was doing something like, yeah. And that's probably where the soul tie comes from, like getting her name tag. Cause she's the only person besides a dude. I mean, people always come back. But as far as like the obsession and stuff, it's only one other person who kind of acts in that nature, but never put their hands on me. But like constantly just like I'm constantly asking this person, like, stop contacting me. Like, please. There's nothing for us to talk about. You're in a whole relationship. Please stay where you're at. But yeah, I think the tattoo was definitely like what sealed the deal. And if I would have just knew what I was getting what I was signing myself up for, yeah. But I will say, y'all, I really appreciate y'all listening to my story. I've never really like sat down and really like just talked about it. Of course, I didn't like give you all the details, but the main parts that like really stuck with me and really like kind of haunted me for a while. But I really appreciate y'all for listening to me and letting me speak my truth and letting me feel safe enough to be able to speak my truth with y'all. Um, yeah. And hopefully, like, with this, I can continue to heal. I can continue to keep my journey going and finding Lee and who I want to be. Um, in all aspects of my life, because I feel like stuff like that does not just affect you romantically, it affects you all together. But I just really appreciate y'all for like, giving me an ear to listen to me and let me rant on and share my story time with y'all. And while we have a couple minutes, I'm a you know, see if y'all have any questions or anything specifically, because I wasn't really looking at the comments at all, for real, for real. Because I had to focus, because y'all know my mind, I'll be talking so much and then my mind goes blank and it'd be hard to figure out where I'm at. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It feels good. I feel like, it's another deep breath I can take. Um, I never showed anybody the picture of like my nose being busted, besides like, people who was actually like there in the moment in the time. So it just feels good to like finally be able to like just like release it. And like now I feel like I can go through all my Google photos and stuff that have been saved like over time that are not like presently on my regular photo album, but I can finally start letting stuff go. Like I released it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I shared this story really in sense of like I said, to get a better understanding of me, but also like just to bring awareness. Like I don't know if y'all know the girl E came from TikTok or whatever, and it's just like I love her personality. I love that like she say whatever she's saying. She said what she said, but I hate that it does get seem like it kind of gets glorified for like the domestic violence and stuff. And I want young girls to know, and women to know, period, because it doesn't matter how old you are. Like shit gets real, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. Because I thank God that I'm still here, because like it was so many times where I really was questioning whether I was gonna do it myself or she was gonna do it. And it was so many times where I had to perfect that car trick where I had to like pull on the wheel and pull the car over and force it to park. And like it was too many times where we had to do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to still be here. I'm grateful to still have a journey. I'm grateful to be able to tell my side of the story and just grow from here. So thank you so much. Thank you. It feels good. It does. I thought I was gonna get like teary eyed, but like when I tell y'all, like I closed that chapter a while ago. Like when I got my tattoo, I really did close that chapter a while ago, and I don't have any more tears to cry for that part of my life. And that part of my life, it really does come with a lot, because it kind of like intertwined with other drama that I have that is currently still going on. But at least I can say like that part of it, I'm done. So thank you guys. I don't want to keep y'all on here too long. We be in here for a minute, but I really do appreciate y'all. I'm about to go check on my turkey legs. Well, it's really just one. It's a turkey leg and a turkey wing, but that turkey leg is thick, so I'm trying to like not touch it. But I was a little hesitant to open up like this for you guys just because like I feel like sometimes it can go one or two ways. And I'm not seeking for anybody's attention. I'm not seeking for anybody like to feel sorry for me. Like that's why I feel like I'm finally in that space. Like a lot of times some of y'all will comment like don't expose too much of your life, but I feel like some stuff needs to be said. Like some stuff I don't have to like I said I don't have to go into full details about certain things, but one thing I'm gonna do when I do tell my side of a story, I do have my receipts, I do have, my facts, I do have like my experience, and I want to be able to share that, excuse me, because people go through shit every day. And I hate that people have this idea that because you look good to other people that you don't go through shit, or because you come off as like a happy person on camera or via social media, they don't see the dark side of things. um Me and her would post all the time like lovey-dovey, like y'all, I got a video of her trying to eat a Cheeto out my butt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the girl was literally obsessed with, like, I had plenty of videos and photos of us just loving on each other, like just really just, like blinded by love and of what we thought was a version of love, right? So it's just like to bring awareness and to just really like show like I'm a real person. I go through real shit. I know I can like kind of like retract a little bit and kind of like seclude myself, but it's just like it's a defense mechanism, and it just I feel like I'm tired of doing that. I want better. I want change. I want to feel free. I don't like feeling like I have skeletons in my closet, or whatever the case may be. I feel like if it helps somebody, it helps somebody. If it was entertaining, it was entertaining. But domestic violence is real, whether it's same or man and a woman, like it don't matter. Yeah, we was some freak child. Well, I told you at the beginning, she knocked them more coins loose, baby. I she was definitely the best when it came to a female that I've encountered. Like, and I've had some good times, but that was like, yeah. And I just ate that up. Like the fact that she would be so obsessed with me, like every inch of my body, like she did not care. Like she loved me with the wig, without the wig, with lash, without lash. Like, like it just felt like she accepted me for me. I could be so goofy with her. Like we used to have some good times. Like it wasn't all bad, but we used to have some good times. We did. But it just got to the point like my mom would just tell me like when the bad finally outweighs the good and you feel like you've had enough, you'll know. But hopefully it just won't be, the end. And I'm just grateful. Yeah, girl. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'll have to delete them too, y'all. Yeah, I got a couple of them little videos still, but because it was like when she came back around, it would just be like I had to remind her, like, bitch, don't get beside yourself. Remember who you used to be, okay? Remember you was eating Cheetos out this ass, okay? So not too much. Like I kept it for one of them type of purposes. Like, bitch, don't get too cute now. Don't act brand new. But yeah, what a time! What a time! What a time! What a time! Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all. It's about to be midnight, so I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm planning on trying to still drop the rest of our trip this Sunday. So I'm gonna be trying to spend all day finishing up the last edits on that video. I have some other videos coming out. I have some collaborations coming up. So thank you for my TED Talk. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. For the girlies who was at the beginning of the convo when we was talking about the glasses, um, I might make a post or something so we can kind of like talk a little bit more, or email me, whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna get back on Instagram or not. For what I know, the Instagram got deleted, but yeah. So I gotta figure out another way where I can communicate with y'all a little easier. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. But I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. I appreciate y'all for always showing me love. And I will connect with y'all another time. And hopefully, like I said, I could drop this vlog and y'all enjoy it. But until then, good night. I hope you all have a wonderful night and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we shall talk soon. Bye.